All right, all right. What is going on, YouTube? What's going on, fellow fantasy people? And of course, what is up? The catch. Fam. All right, week 7 has come. It is not quite gone just yet, but nonetheless, man, we are starting to get through this awful bye apocalypse, as it's been named. And yeah, so we'll break down week 7 a little bit here and just hop into some Monday night, or excuse me, not Monday night, Sunday night football hangout. And, you know, I'll have some fantasy Q&A going as well. Drops, sit starts. I guess we're not really doing starts, sits, maybe for week 8. Trades, you guys know what we're doing, man. So, nonetheless, it's going to be a blast, man. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it, man. This was an interesting week. We got a lot to break down here. Started off as just a slow week, right? I mean, gosh, some of the first halves of those first quarter games were just, I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into some roll call. Then we'll start breaking down some of what we saw happen. All right, Bryant, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Max, what's going on, brother? It is good to see you. Mr. Sarcastic had Gibson and Aaron Jones as my RB1 and RB2 with Devonta Williams and Michael Carter on my bench. Yeah, it was one of those weeks, man. It was. Sorry to hear it, brother. Let me know, Mr. Sarcastic, how everything else went for you, though, man. Let's see here. Chase Brown, what's up, my guy? Yo, lost in one league and about to win in my other. Let's go, Chase. At least on one side of things there. Bryant, this week was a snooze fest. It was a little bit of a snooze fest. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. We'll break it down. We'll break it down, though. Jerry, what's up, everyone? A bit of a rough day for me, but I'm happy to have this stream. Jerry, we are happy to have you here. Always, man, sorry to hear that you're having a rough day, but glad that you are coming to hang out with the Catch fam for a bit. Chase Brown, Mooney, Chuba, and Darrell sold for me. Yeah, it was a rough day. It really was. It was just I didn't like today. Another weird week. This feels like what we saw in like weeks 1 through 3. We were finally getting some, normal expectations for the season, and then I don't know. Maybe we got too comfortable, guys. Mr. Matt J. Kim, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well tonight. Happy to have you here as always. What's up, fam? Max had Cup and Chase today. Yikes. I was literally sitting there thinking today, like, how easy it would have been to draft both Cup and Jamar Chase. And I was like, someone out there started both those guys today. But Sarcastic lost by 3. Harris and Diggs on bye needed them. Yikes. Sorry to hear it, brother. Brian, I won by 30. I'm 7-0, but I have a tough matchup next week, right? Moving past next week, being 7-1 isn't going to look too bad either. Mr. Matt J. Kim, damn, this game is stressful. I got Jonathan Taylor versus San Francisco defense. Yeah, I'm in a very, very stressful situation within this game right now. I've got the Colts defense. Then I have got against me, I have got Deebo Samuel and our guy Elijah Mitchell, and I am up by 15. So I have been stressing out. I am actually kind of hoping that this rain starts to come down pretty heavily. Is that bad? But yeah, we've got the third quarter going underway. So let's see what Carson Wentz and company can do. They're probably going to hand this football off quite a bit to Jonathan Taylor. Let's see here. Joshua Palmer, what's going on, man? Is Aaron Jones for Deontay Johnson and Elijah Mitchell worth it? I would say it depends on how much you're hurting at the receiver position. Outside of that, I know he's looked great tonight, but I'm still not ready to trust Elijah Mitchell within this backfield. But man, I know Aaron Jones has not been extremely consistent, was not very impressive today as well. But I still think on the season, he's a player that you're going to want at the RB position. Let's see. Jerry Cup had a huge night for me. Let's go. Let's go, Jerry. Josh Palmer, I have Justin Jefferson and Scary Terry. Great combo. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know, man, if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it. I think down the stretch you'd regret not having Aaron Jones. Mr. Matt J. Kim, I know Jonathan Taylor is gonna feast in the rain, but scared of all these fumbles and interceptions. Yeah. I mean, last second I almost swapped the Colts defense for San Francisco's defense, and I may have made a mistake there, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Like I said, I'm up 15 right now, but Debo could take off at any minute, and Elijah Mitchell has looked very good in the first half of this football game. So I'm a little stressed out, and it doesn't look like the Colts defense has looked relatively lost at this game. So we'll see what happens, guys. All right, let's see here. Week 7. Not that it's over yet, but a lot to break down here. As the Colts get a 2nd and 11. All right, let's see here. Morelli Cox having a nice game as he grabs another catch there. All right, Jamar Chase went absolutely insane today in that game versus Baltimore, right? Only 8 targets, but had 201 receiving yards and a touchdown. Fantastic stat line on the day. Mike Gesicki, 7 targets, 8 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown today. Went absolutely ballistic, man. Just craziness. Josh Jacobs, okay, 29 rushing yards and a touchdown, 3 receiving yards, 39 receiving yards. And I think I just said that wrong. 3 receptions for 39 receiving yards. Anyways, Josh Jacobs left that game with a chest injury, so that's relatively worrisome. But they do get a bye, so we'll see how Josh Jacobs bounces back. Tyler Higbee had a decent day, 5 receptions, 46 yards. Let's see here. Dallas Goddard, right, had a pretty good day. Only 3 receptions out of 5 targets, but 70 receiving yards and a good old little 2-point conversion. So good day for Dallas Goddard overall. She started him. Brandon Cooks, only 5 receptions on the day, 21 receiving yards. Not a great day if you started Brandon Cooks. All right, let's see here. Just trying to hit kind of a summary of everyone on the day here. Let's see. Alrighty. Tom Brady, a monster day, but from a fantasy perspective, only put up 24 fantasy points, around that ballpark at least, but 4 passing touchdowns for him today. Miles Sanders left that game versus the Raiders with a very bad stat line. Kenneth Gainwell probably going to be a big waiver priority this coming week, but we will probably have to see how that MRI turns out for Miles Sanders. Devontae Adams off of 6 receptions and 7 targets, had 76 receiving yards and a touchdown. He had a monster day. AJ Brown, told you guys I had a very good feeling about AJ Brown in this matchup where the Titans just decimated the Kansas City Chiefs 27-3. 8 receptions off 9 targets, 133 receiving yards and a touchdown. Monster day for our guy, AJ Brown. Evan Ingram for the Giants had a pretty good day. 6 receptions, 44 receiving yards, full PPR, not a bad stat line. Patty Mahomes, his worst performance I think I've ever seen. Don't quote me, but I think this might have been his worst fantasy performance of all time. If I'm not mistaken, this was the first game that he's ever played in where the Chiefs have not scored a touchdown, and the first game where he has never thrown for a touchdown. Rough day for Patty Mahomes. Daryl Henderson, we really liked Henderson versus Detroit this week, and he only put up about 9 points in full PPR. Not the best day. DeAndre Hopkins had a great day. 9 targets, 7 receptions, 53 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Looked very good. Rashad Bateman out there in full PPR leagues had a good day. 11 points, right? Only 3 receptions, but he turned it into 80 yards. So we're liking what we're seeing off of Bateman. His stock might kind of cool off because the Ravens are on bye week coming into week 8. But that's someone that we're going to want to take a good look at, guys. AJ Green had 3 receptions today for 66 receiving yards. Pretty good day for AJ Green. Corey Davis, told you guys 2 things last night. Okay, I told you, I don't like Corey Davis this week versus New England because the last time he played New England, he had like 2 points. and I just don't like this matchup overall. Right, Belichick's going to take away the X factor, but I also told you guys, anytime I bench Corey Davis, he goes off and scores a touchdown. And anytime I start him, he has like 5 or less points. So maybe do the opposite of what I'm suggesting. So kudos to anyone who did the opposite of what I suggested last night and started Corey Davis, who had a nice day. 4 receptions, 47 receiving yards off of 6 targets, and a touchdown. Not from Mr. Zach Wilson, who left the game with a knee injury, but from a backup quarterback, of course. So I'm done with Corey Davis. I can't evaluate him correctly. All right, Ryan Tannehill had a pretty good day, around 20 points on the day. Chase Edmonds had a decent day, full PPR, about 81 rushing yards, and then a reception for about 9 yards. Chuba Hubbard, a bad day. I mean, not a great day. I mean, no, we just said Edmonds had a pretty decent day. Chuba only had about half a point less, but we expected a little bit more out of Chuba in this matchup versus the Giants. A very bad day for Carolina. And, just saw some breaking news during halftime that the Panthers and the Dolphins are supposedly in trade talks for Deshaun Watson, right? And this is another thing I got wrong, right? Is that I told you guys that I thought that Sam Darnold would bounce back in this game versus Giants. He did not. So maybe we'll see some Deshaun Watson. Maybe we'll see something happen. I don't know. We'll speculate on that in a little bit. Devonta Smith had a pretty good day. 5 receptions off of 9 targets, 61 receiving yards. Mike Evans, 6 receptions, 3 of them were touchdowns, 10 targets, 76 receiving yards. One of the best performances of the day. T. Higgins, pretty good day for T. Higgins, full PPR. Turned 15 targets into 7 receptions, 62 receiving yards. Not a bad day for Higgins. Would have liked to see him get in the end zone, though. All right. Lamar Jackson was a little bit worrisome once again, looking like he was going to put up another 10, 11-point game, but he turned it around that second half. Although, rough day for the Ravens. Cincinnati. Does Cincinnati look for real? I think they do, man. Joe Burrow. Whoa. But anyways, Lamar Jackson coming out with a pretty nice stat line, around 23 points, dependent on scoring format. Daryl Patterson and Cheese, our guy. Another good day, guys. Another good day. About 14 points, full PPR, 60 rushing yards, a touchdown, and only 2 receptions today for 1 receiving yard, but still about 14 points. So he looked good out there. Scary Terry McLaurin. I told you guys, don't lose faith on Scary Terry. Had a great day. 12 targets, 7 receptions, 122 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Love what we saw out of Scary Terry today. Uzma. Kudos to anyone out there who started Uzma. I don't even know if I'm saying his name correctly, but only 3 receptions. 2 of them were touchdowns. What a great performance by this tight end on the Bengals, right? 91 receiving yards. But listen, guys, I'm still a little hesitant around Uzma. I really am. But he had a great day today. Just hasn't been entirely consistent. Hunter Renfrow had a pretty good day. 7 receptions, 58 receiving yards. All right. Let's keep on going through it, guys. We're getting a lot of action here. Okay. Kyler Murray had a pretty good day. About 22 points. Pretty much expected at this point. Pretty much dismantling of the Houston Texans like we expected. Aaron Jones, a pretty disappointing day. Under 9 points. And, most of that value came in, if you do play full PPR, you had 5 receptions. So, not a great day for Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon for that matter. A.J. Dillon, someone who we really liked going into this matchup. We didn't see any of those garbage time carries or anything like we expected to. So not a good day for either of the Packers running backs. Jacoby Myers, about 9.5 points today. So not a bad performance out of him. DJ Moore doing the best with what he was given. 73 receiving yards off of 10 targets, 6 receptions. So not a bad day for DJ Moore. Kyle Pitts, man, looking like the player that we went out and targeted early in the draft, right? Around 23 points today, 7 receptions, 163 yards. He was catching everything thrown his way. He looked great today. Christian Kirk, 4 receptions, 50 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Good stat line today by our guy, Christian Kirk. All right, Matthew Stafford. A great day, but don't you feel like it should have been a little bit better? I'm not sure. Around 27 fantasy points. It was a fantastic day. But this game started off a little bit slower for the Rams than many expected. And that Lions team decided to show up for a little bit. But a great day for Matthew Stafford, 3 passing touchdowns, over 330 passing yards, threw the ball 41 times. A great day for him. James Conner had a great day as well. I mean, a good day. 10 carries, 64 rushing yards, and a touchdown. Leonard Fournette, 15 carries, 81 rushing yards, and a touchdown. Good days for both of those guys. Tyreek Hill, not a fantastic day, but still a good enough stat line. 6 receptions, 49 receiving yards, and 18-yard rush. So full PPR, good enough stat line. Cooper Kupp. Oh, that's a bad man out there. 10 receptions off 13 targets for 156 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say about Kupp anymore, except he is the most valuable receiver in fantasy football right now. Mark Andrews only ended up catching 3 balls today for 48 receiving yards and a fumble. So not a great day for Marky Mark. Our guy, Daryl Williams, right? On the Kansas City Chiefs, not a great day either. Around 8 points overall, depending on scoring format. Zach Ertz had a great day. Around 16 points, depending on scoring format. Zach Ertz looked good. His first start with Arizona. Jalen Hurts around 22 points today. Good game out of Jalen Hurts. Joe Mixon found the end zone, which kind of saved his stat line. Robbie Woods had 70 receiving yards. Pretty good day for Robbie Woods. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a true goose egg. He hurt me this week in my 20-man league. These Lions receivers, we just cannot trust them, guys. Hunter Henry, touchdown. Only had 2 receptions a day, but he got in the end zone, so it didn't matter. One of my must-starts for the week. Hunter Henry put up a very nice stat line. This is his 4th game in a row, consecutive game with a touchdown. He looked great. Devonta Booker found the end zone towards the end of the game and saved that stat line. I started him in mine Stevens primary league, so he saved my day as well. Decent stat line overall for Devonta Booker, which is nice to see. Myles Gaskin got in the end zone and had himself a pretty nice day overall. A good stat line for Myles Gaskin. Joe Burrow just balled out today, man. Over 400 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, threw 1 interception, but he saw man coverage with Jamar Chase and he threw it up there. Marlon Humphrey made the most of it, but nonetheless, Joe Burrow impressive today. Deandre Swift had a fantastic day. This was a guy who was kind of picking, and some of you guys had 4 players you're asking me about, and he was one of them. And I was hesitant, but I just said maybe this is the guy to bench. Just looking at the matchup, right? We don't bench DeAndre Swift anymore, guys. We just can't afford to. He went insane. 96 receiving yards on the day. I mean, a fantastic performance. Antonio Gibson, got a lot of questions about him last night. I told you guys I was very hesitant around Antonio Gibson. And I didn't really answer that one. I just didn't know what to do, but he had a bad day, bad stat line for our guy, Gibson. Hollywood Brown, you just cannot sleep on this guy. You got to start him, man. Especially in these competitive games, he's going to find the end zone. A great day, 80 receiving yards, 5 receptions off of 14 targets, and he scored. Good day for Hollywood Brown. Travis Kelce did the most with what he was given. 12 targets, 7 receptions, 65 receiving yards. A good stat line for Travis Kelce. J.D. McKissick ended up being the back that you wanted to start in that offense. He had the better day between him and Antonio Gibson. Our guy, Mooney, very disappointing today. Did not find the end zone like we thought he would. An awful day. And speaking of that, Tampa Bay's defense went ballistic today. Okay, guys, we're almost done here. Matt Ryan. Told you guys I like Tua more than Matt Ryan. Who had the better day? Tua did. Okay. Derrick Henry, not a crazy day at all. But he threw a touchdown, which kind of saved his stat line. And the Titans found other ways to do it, man. I'll just leave it at that. Our guy, Harris on New England, right? He went pretty crazy today. Had his best game of the season. He was in my must-start video as well, so I was happy about that. Calvin Redley, guys, had a pretty good day. 10 targets, only hauled in 4, though. 26 receiving yards, but that touchdown saved the stat line. Guys, Allen Robinson is, I don't know, man. I don't know if I think he might just be droppable at this point, guys. I mean, look at this matchup, right? And it's not all Allen Robinson's fault, but the Bears in general just, they do not look good. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers had a great day. Over 270 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He looked very good today. Let's see here. Mike Davis. Remember, I told you guys I like Mike Davis this week. He put up 1 point. Okay, awful day for him. Chris Godwin balled out, over 110 receiving yards off of 11 targets, 8 receptions, 1 touchdown. Great stat line there. T.J. Hawkinson had himself in full PPR, pretty good day. 6 receptions, 48 receiving yards. Jalen Waddle had a pretty nice day in full PPR as well. 7 receptions for 83 receiving yards. Outside of that, Devonta Freeman had a pretty good day as well. Found the end zone. Michael Carter had a pretty good day also and found the end zone. Okay, I think that covers most of the main players today. I kind of want to start doing that on the reaction vids, right? Just kind of going through what happened today, who put up what, who did not put up what, so we can get a good, overall take on everything. Okay, let's get into the comments, guys. Hope that was interesting for you guys. Good way to wrap things up, at least. All right, let's see here. Bryant, how do you feel about the Chiefs this season? I think, oh my gosh, is it crazy to say that the Super Bowl hangover is truly affecting them and that the season might be over for them? Is it crazy to say that? With the Chargers in that division, who've already beaten them once this season, the Raiders look like they can put up a fight. The Broncos are probably the worst team in that division. I don't know, man. I don't know how it's looking overall for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Richard, I have Debo and Taylor, and both have already fumbled in this game. Yikes. Good to see you, Richard. Hope you're doing well, man. Max, drop in earnest. If I have Chubb, I don't know, man. Of course, you want to root for Chubb if you own him, but with Kareem Hunt being out for a little bit, it might make sense to hold on to both of them, right? Mr. Matt J. Kim, happy tight end day. Yeah, a lot of tight ends balled out today as well. As Mohamed Sanu catches football here. Let's see. Jerry, what was the biggest blowout? I mean, I feel like it was the Patriots and Jets, but I guess the Cardinals and Texans would be right up there with that. Jerry, what was the most surprising for you? Honestly, probably the fact that the Lions hung in that game versus the Rams up until the end, right? Mr. Matt Cam, welcome to Arizona Ertz. Yeah, great day for Zach Ertz. Brian, I traded for Gesicki and picked up Waddle because Watson could get traded to the Dolphins. Yeah, and we still want to kind of tamper expectations there, right? I mean, I'm not entirely sure, wow, the Colts just dropped an interception. Even if Watson does get traded, if he's going to play this year, that's something that we need to keep in mind as well, guys. Jerry, good to see Cox playing well tonight. Absolutely, man. He is having a good night. Jerry, I expected a big game from Andrews, and he disappointed. He really did disappoint today, man. Damon the Beast, what's going on? Lamb or DJ Moore rest of the season? I'm going to roll with CD Lamb just because that offense as a whole looks much more productive, right? So I think I'm leaning CD Lamb. I mean, I love DJ Moore. The volume's going to be there. There's absolutely no other competition for targets until Christian McCaffrey comes back. And so, there's some arguments there for DJ Moore. But overall, I'm going to lean CD Lamb between the two. It's a good question. Rush_man, what's going on, man? Scary dropped one dude, and it was a bad one. The Pack offense is shit. People need to see that. Okay, hot takes there. Hot takes. We'll take it, though. Yeah, I mean, on the day, Scary Terry still put up a good enough stat line and a pretty good stat line overall to get you through the day. And then in terms of the Packers offense, they at least find a way to win. Well, I'll say that much. Aaron Reborn, what's going on, man? Always good to see you. Jeffrey Mason, shout out Jalen Hurts for playing another game of bad football, doing shit in fantasy for 3 quarters, and getting owners something in garbage time. Yeah, that seems to be what happens every single week. Did the Colts just force a fumble? It's looking that way. It's Indianapolis football. Okay, that helps me big time. Mr. Magic, Derrick Henry looked human today. Yeah, other than throwing a touchdown, right? Mr. Magic, I'm planning to drop Allen Robinson this week. I feel bad for the man. Maybe they'll bring back Foles. Yeah. And I guess, sorry, Jerry, in terms of shutouts. I somehow forgot about the Bears and the Bucks as well. That was probably the biggest shutout of the day. Um, this Bears offense just looks abysmal. Bryant, my biggest mistake was picking Redley instead of Cup. Yeah, I mean, I think that's easy to say at this point in the season, but going into the season, I mean, it's a little bit tougher, right? So don't beat yourself up too much. I think we could all say that, right? There are receivers we picked, running backs we picked in the first and second round that we wish we picked a guy like Cooper Cup or Jamar Chase over, right? It's just, it's part of it, man. It's part of it. All right, let me see here, guys. Got to fix one thing. There we go. All right, let me pull the chat back up. Sorry, guys. Edward, what's going on, man? So glad I hung on to AJ Brown. Expectations for Jerry Jeudy when he comes back. Yeah, happy to see that you held on to AJ Brown as well. I think that we can have pretty high expectations for Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. Now, the bigger problem is going to lie with the Broncos' offense in general, how they are able to kind of roll things out moving forward as they're starting to look a little bit disappointing, right? At least to what in comparison to what we saw at the beginning of the season. But I do think that Jeudy plays that wide receiver 2 position phenomenal. I think he's a great. I mean, you think about Jeudy lining up with Tim Patrick and our guy Sutton, and then Noah Fant as well, and then Melvin Gordon and Devonta Williams. Oh gosh, a flag down. Michael Pittman. Ooh, okay. So yeah, I mean, you think about how many skill position guys that this Broncos team has. Jerry Jeudy's just naturally going to or get a lot of targets and a good amount of volume as well. Jeffrey Mason incoming 45-point game for Scary Terry next week. Spooky season. I like it. I like it. Max, could I get Devonta Williams for Devonta and Bateman or Tony? I think so. Right. I mean, I love Williams, man. I think all the upside is there for him. But at this point in the season, right, he still has only had 2 games with the touchdown and 3 games from a fantasy perspective with more than 10 points. Well, I guess that depends on scoring format. But listen, man, I think that's a pretty good move overall. And Carson Wentz throwing the football away here. But I would say Devonta and Tony. I would try and hold on to Bateman while you can. Aaron Reborn, I wanted to hold on to Kelsey so bad, but right now it seems that I consider a trade. I don't blame you. I mean, I do think he might be the most valuable player in terms of fantasy on the Kansas City Chiefs, just in terms of consistency on a weekly basis. With Tyreek Hill, he has a much higher ceiling, but in terms of consistency, I don't know if it's 100% there. But hey, man, there are good enough tight ends floating around right now, right? Dallas Goddard, Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz, right? Guys that we've gotten off of the waiver wire that you might be able to consider that move, right? Bryant, Daryl Henderson, kind of disappointing considering his disappointed wow, I cannot talk. Daryl Henderson, kind of disappointed considering his matchup. Yes, I absolutely agree. That was one thing we went over just now, and expected a much better day out of him. But listen, the game script wasn't entirely there as well, right? We kind of expected the Rams to get up early on him and not really need to throw the football as much, and that didn't quite happen as Jonathan Taylor finds his way into the end zone here. But yeah, this Lions team showed up, right? I mean, pretty surprising. I think most people would agree, right? I mean, I kind of speculated on this. Maybe the Lions actually show up today, right? Because everyone talking about this game is just saying this was going to be a complete blowout, that there's no way the Lions stand a chance, and maybe they were a little ticked off, right? But it didn't seem like they could really hold it together. And they had a chance towards the end of the game, right? And Jared Goff threw an interception to Jalen Ramsey. So nonetheless, right, the game script just wasn't quite there. The Rams had to stay in this game and throw the football. If this game had unwinded how we originally thought it would, then I think we would have saw a lot more of Daryl Henderson. But nonetheless, you were 100% correct. This was a disappointing game for Daryl Henderson. Mr. Matt J. Kim, easy TD run by Taylor incoming. Yep, that's exactly what we saw. And, I do need to pull up and just keep track of how my matchup is going. Okay, I'm up by 15 once again because of that fumble. And yeah, I'm still very scared of losing this game. I mean, if Debo has a crazy play or Mitchell finds the end zone again, I don't know. It's going to look for me. So we're going to be biting our nails tonight. All right. Edward, when should I start trusting Bateman to be a starter? It's a good question. Let's pull up. I got it right here, actually. Let's pull up the Ravens' upcoming schedule for you. All right. So they get the bye week this coming week, which is nice. Okay. And, I actually want to look at this from a receiver's perspective, just to look at the rankings here. Okay, let's see here. All right, so they get the bye week in week 8. So coming out of the gate after that, they've got Minnesota. It's a pretty difficult matchup, but keep in mind, I mean, Bateman's first game was against the Chargers, who are actually the best team in the league against opposing wide receivers. Then Cincinnati is the 15th best team, so pretty difficult matchups, and he's got Minnesota, who are 13th, coming out in week 9. So the best, I think, read we're going to get on Rashad Bateman will be in week 10 versus Miami, who are currently ranked 30th in the league against opposing receivers. Now, we did see Xavier Howard show up today and actually be able to play, right? And Brian Jones probably be healthy by then as well. So that ranking might not be the best indicator. But nonetheless, I think this is a good game to get a good gauge on our guy Bateman. But listen, man, I think you can take a gamble on Bateman on a weekly basis after, we've seen 6 targets in the last 2 games. Now, let's look at, in terms of red zone targets, he's had 0. Okay. That's the part that scares us as fantasy owners, right? The volume is there for Bateman, considering how much the Ravens run the football. 6 targets in his first 2 games, pretty good. Okay. But the red zone targets is what's scaring us right now. Once again, the Ravens run the football within the 20-yard line quite a bit. And, we've seen that hurt guys' as value like Lamar Jackson. So we'll see what happens, man. But I do think right now you can roll the dice on Bateman on a weekly basis. All these matchups coming up outside of Green Bay in week 15 are about middle of the pack, or then you've got Miami and Pittsburgh, who are pretty bad in their secondary. So outside of that, you got teams like Minnesota, Chicago, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, who are all, and then the Rams as well. So I don't know. I think you can definitely take a chance on Bateman. I like where he's at, but the red zone targets are what scare me, because if Bateman could just get in the end zone, then he'd be a sure lock, right? 6 targets, his first 2 games is great. But if we could just get that little bit of extra value in the end zone, it would be fantastic. As Deebo Samuel, I can't watch this football game, man. I can't. All right, let's see here. So now I'm probably up. Oh, there's a flag. Hold on, guys. I got to see this. Okay, good. It's coming back. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, Edward, I hope that was helpful. Chase, up 3 points with my opponent having Taylor, Wentz, and Pascal. I have Kamara, who wins. I think you win. I do. I think you're fine there. I think Kamara, I wouldn't be worried about Pascal. Oh, well, Taylor maybe. But you're up 3 points. I still think you have a very, very good shot at winning, man. I really do. All right, let's see here. 1st and 15 for the Niners. And Jimmy G, little play action. Looking downfield, gets the ball knocked, and somehow Deebo Samuel catches another football. There's another flag, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Jerry Uzma is on my waivers in my other league. Should I drop Cox for Uzma? Quite honestly, I feel like Cox is going to be the more consistent player. I know Uzma's having these really flashy games, right? Let's go ahead and see if we can't pull up some statistics here. Because, I just don't know on a consistency basis how often we're going to see these big games out of CJ. So let's see here. 24 points this week, 10 points last week, 3 points in week 5, 26 points in week 4. Outside of that, weeks 1 through 3, less than 8 points, right? He gets the Jets and Cleveland next. I don't hate it, man. I mean, I don't think it's too different than having a guy like Mo Alley Cox, quite frankly. So Mo Alley Cox has been a little bit more consistent, but he hasn't really had these really big games. So I think you look at each offense, and I'm not going to hate on Uzma, man, because I think the Bengals look for real right now. But I mean, I will say Mo Alley Cox has got Tennessee, the Jets, and Jacksonville coming up. Love, love, love the 3 coming weeks for Mo Alley Cox. All right, let's see here. Kyle says to drop Cox. I like Uzma, but I don't see them in too much different fashion. Like I said, I really like these upcoming matchups for Mo Alley Cox. Edward, should I be worried about Noah Fant with Judy coming back? I'd say no. I really wouldn't worry about Fant at all. I think Fant's volume is just naturally always going to be there. He's a very athletic tight end. He's got the trust of Teddy Bridgewater. If Bridgewater goes down, he's got the trust of Drew Lock. He played just fine in week 1 when Judy was around. I would not panic on Noah Fant at all. All right, 3rd and 19 for the Niners. Little pass here to Hasty, and he is taken down by the Colts defense. All right. Drop Chenault for Callaway. Ooh. I mean, I view those guys in pretty similar circumstances, but listen, Callaway's been pretty good this year outside of like the first 2 weeks. So I do think that Callaway will see more volume than Chenault. So I think you can definitely consider that, Max. Jerry, I have Andrews and Goddard, so it'll be nice to have a 3rd tight end. Yeah, man, stack up those tight ends. You know how I feel about tight ends, Jerry. All right, Richard, currently have a 30-point lead with Samuels and Jonathan Taylor playing. My opponent has Kamara, standard league, so I'm hopeful. You definitely got a chance. You definitely got a chance there, Richard. Bryant, man, Ayuk has struggled bad. He has. Yeah. Went ahead and picked him up in the Catch Fan League. I have just had this feeling that maybe down the stretch he can turn this around, but I don't quite know if it's doesn't look like that's the case. Adam, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. I'm pretty much living off of handcuffs right now. Herbert, Johnson, Juba, Daryl Williams, but I have Chubb and Damian Harris too. Yeah. In my primary league, I've got Herbert, Booker, Johnson, Devonta Williams on my bench. Rashad Penny's on my bench. And then I've got James Robinson on bye week this week. I've got Christian McCaffrey and David Montgomery. So these handcuffs are saving me right now, hopefully. So yeah, I feel your pain there, man. I don't think you're the only one. Or I don't think we're the only ones. Claudio, what's going on? I'm up 1 point with Pittman going. My opponent still is Lockett. Can I get a prayer? Let's all say a prayer for Claudio. Doesn't look great, but you never know. Lockett could come out and have a 1 point game against the Saints. I mean, it's crazier things have happened in fantasy. So don't stress out too much there, man. But we are definitely praying for you. I'll put it that way. Bryant, he is a wide receiver 2 that only has 100 total receiving yards. Yeah, it's fair enough, man. I mean, I think Callaway is, or I'm sorry, Ayuk. We're talking about Ayuk here. Yeah. He's droppable. Yeah. He doesn't need to be on a fantasy roster right now. Don't look at the projections. I mean, in some leagues, he was projected like 14 points tonight. I mean, he needs to turn this thing around, man, before we can consider adding him on a roster. And I don't know that it's worth holding on to him until then. Mr. Matt J. Kim, I picked up A.J. Dillon as a free agent. Should I stash him for the rest of the season? I would stash him right now, but it looks like after today, we can't trust him on a weekly basis. I was really, really hoping that we could and, maybe rely on him in terms of garbage time points and things like that. And we can't. Apparently, he had an awful game today. So I think it's okay to stash him and kind of see how the backfield plays out. It's going to be a handcuff situation, so you're just going to have to be careful with it, to say the least. Richard Glass, in my money league, I had 5 starters on bye. This week, I had my highest scoring game of the season. No way. I believe it. Yeah, this was a strange week. All right, let's see here. XX Lex, what's going on, man? Do you know what happened to Miles Sanders? I have Gainwell. Wondering if I should play him next week. Yeah, Miles Sanders left with an injury, of course, and I think we're gonna have to wait for the MRI, right? And it was an ankle injury. That's right. Yeah. So we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow. But if you own Gainwell right now, he's very valuable because, uh, I mean, the Eagles just haven't deployed their running game in any type of good fashion. But when they have, it looks like Gainwell, he's looked a little bit like he's a better fit within the offense. I don't think Miles Sanders is a bad running back. I don't think he's being used correctly. I don't think he's a great fit for what the Eagles want to do. Gainwell has actually been able to hit his stride, right? So nonetheless, just due to volume alone, I think Gainwell is worth owning and probably going to be one of the top waiver priorities on the week if he's not owned in your league. Kyle, what's going on, man? I have Eckler, Mixon, Swift, CMC on IR. I have Johnson and Debo, Robbie, Anderson. Should I trade one of my RBs for wide receiver? I'm undefeated right now with a dub this week. All right, good work, Kyle. But so I'm assuming that's Deontay Johnson and Debo Samuel. So you're deploying Eckler, Mixon, Swift. Listen, man, I would hold on to those running backs. Even if your receivers are a little bit weak, you can start Deontay Johnson and Debo Samuel on a weekly basis and win, especially with Eckler, Mixon, Swift, and CMC, in your lineup. Although, whenever CMC is healthy, you're going to have to swap one of those guys out. But that running back depth is going to be more crucial down the stretch, and it's probably a big reason of why you're undefeated right now, right? So if it was my roster, I would hold on to the strengths within those four running backs. And, it's okay if your wide receivers are a little bit weaker overall. No, I would not trade any of those four guys. And, yes, you can drop Robbie Anderson to answer your other question. Just Anderson, guys, it's time. We're getting that crucial point where we got to get these victories to help get us in to playoff positioning. It's week 8. I mean, we're already, depending on how your league is formatted, you might be halfway through the season. So, yes, Robbie Anderson can get kicked, man. And I think you can probably end up with a pretty decent receiver there, Kyle, when dropping Robbie. Maybe Bateman's hanging around. We can get into options. But yes, drop Robbie Anderson, and I wouldn't trade those running backs. Luke, what's going on, man? Good to see you again. Hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for the advice last night. I won both of my leagues where I was punting the kicker and defense positions. I actually scored 140 in one of those leagues. Let's go, Luke. Great work on the dubs, and thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that we helped you to 2 fantasy victories, man. Let's go, Luke. And absolutely not a problem. That is what the channel is for. Adam, is Herbert a weekly RB2 as long as Monty is out? He had a great game against the worst matchup. This is a fantastic point. Yeah, Herbert looked great today. I mean, I kept looking at my, because I was watching Red Zone and the Bears weren't very involved on Red Zones, but I kept looking at my phone like, man, Herbert's doing okay out there, right? Did not find the end zone, or else he would have had a great stat line for the day. But regardless, like you're saying, based on the matchup alone, he had a great match or a great stat line, right? I mean, half PPR, the league I have him, he had 15 points, 18 rushing attempts, 100 rushing yards, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 33 receiving yards against Tampa Bay. Man, keep in mind, the 9th ranked team in the league against opposing running backs in fantasy football. Herbert looked great. And yes, I talked about this last night. If you're going to start a Bears running back today, it should have been Herbert. He has stolen the show, man. I personally think he will be relevant when Montgomery comes back. To what degree, I don't know, but there's just no way he's not utilized, right? And Tariq Cohen comes back. That's going to complicate things further, right? And he should be coming back too. So it's going to be very confusing. But for now, yes, I think Herbert is a must start on a weekly basis, man, especially with how many injuries we are dealing with on a weekly basis. All right, let's see here. Jerry, what's up with KC? Should we jump ship now, or would they right their Wrong. Ooh. We briefly discussed this earlier, and man, I just don't know. In terms of fantasy, Tyreek Hill due to volume and Travis Kelsey due to volume, yeah, you've got to start. And I think you've got to start Patrick Mahomes as well moving forward, right? Um, he's still Patrick Mahomes. Now, so in terms of fantasy, I think that they're okay. In terms of real life football, I am worried for the Chiefs, right? 2 weeks ago, last week, 3, 4 weeks ago, I said, hey, they're going to be okay. They're the Chiefs. After today, I'm a little worried about this team. It really, on the season, it really looks like defensive coordinators and opposing teams have figured this thing out, right? Is that crazy to say? And you can't really have the excuse of F it, Tyreek somewhere out there, I'll throw it up because it's not working. Patrick Mahomes is creating consistent turnovers, and it's not good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think from a fantasy perspective, they're okay. But just looking at that division overall and looking at some of the other teams in the AFC, oh gosh, Debo Samuel catches another football. Um, this could be the drive that makes me lose my fantasy game. But just looking at overall, man, how the AFC looks, right? I'm a little worried for Kansas City. I'll leave it at that. And I mean, I was going to be very worried if Patty Mahomes, had a serious injury towards the end of the game. But he looks to be okay. So that's good news. I never want to see anyone injured. All right, guys. So I am down by 12. And if Elijah Mitchell or Debo Samuel score on this drive, I'm going to be very, very nervous for the rest of the night, especially because I also have the Colts defense in my lineup. So I'm going to continue, of course, with our great fantasy Q&A. You guys are killing it tonight, man. Any new viewers out there, make sure you guys consider subscribing down below, becoming part of the Catch fam. And guys, make sure we are smashing that like button as well. But I do need to hone in on the game a little bit more. You guys are killing it in the fantasy Q&A. And oh my God, Debo Samuel just scored. Okay, so now I'm up by a point. I'm up by a point. All right. So what is the likelihood that Debo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell have no more points in this game? Probably unlikely, right? And man, I just need to check one thing. I've got to do it because I almost swapped out the Niners or the Colts defense for the Niners defense. They've got the same amount of points, so I don't need to stress myself out over that. You know who really hurt me today, guys? Antonio Brown. Okay. Antonio Brown really hurt me this week. My two starting receivers were Tim Patrick and Henry Ruggs, who combined for, in this league, 7.7 points. Yeah. Yeah. Did the Colts just do something good on defense? Did they go for two? Okay, that doesn't get me any points. Anyways, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I can't watch the rest of this game. All right, let's see here. That was great timing. Okay. Charlie, how many points do you think Kamara and Saints defense this week will get against the Seahawks together? My opponent has them left to play. I mean, I'd be prepared for them to have about 30 points combined. I'd be prepared for the Saints defense to get around the 8 to 10 points. I'd be prepared for Kamara to get between 15 and 20 points, man. So just being real with you, my guy. You never know, but that's what I'd be prepared for. Richard Glass, 14 people watching, only 7 likes. Hit that like button. Hope the Catch fam grow. Appreciate the support there, Richard. Absolutely, man. XX Lex, was it a mistake to trade away Michael Carter for T. Higgins? Higgins got 15 targets today. Depends on your personal roster. If you're hurting at the receiver position or the running back position, if you're hurting at the RB position, you end up with Carter. I'd say no. I mean, yeah, I do think T. Higgins will be fine on the season, but this was also a game where the Bengals needed to throw the football a lot, right? So the game script kind of aided that, but only time will tell. But I mean, if it made sense for your roster, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much for it. Brian, do you remember when I said my opponent dropped Debo for Waddle? If you do. He also dropped Waddle for Mike Davis, and some other person dropped Russell Wilson. Picked them both up. Yikes. Yikes. Good work out there, Bryant. When Wilson returns, he can be a trade asset. Absolutely. Chiefs need to build their defense. They put all their money into Mahomes. Yeah, it's a good point. And I mean, they got Chris Jones paid, but it's like, and I think, of course, the defense has not been impressive at all. And outside of Matthew and Chris Jones, really, they just over the years haven't been great. But really, when you look at this offense and even the offensive line, it's like they need to invest in this offense as well, right? I mean, you can't just rely on two guys, Mahomes does need a little bit more support out there. So I do agree with you. But I also think that just imagine if they had, I don't know, who are some of the big free agency guys over the last year or so, right? You just add any splashy player to this offense, any, 2 or 3, which I know they don't have a lot of cap room, but just think about how much it would help, right? Richard Glass says, yes, Debo. Well, I'm glad that helped you out, my guy. XX Select Samuel scored, damn, right? LOL. Yeah, it was right as I was talking about how I specifically needed that not to happen. It happened. So I don't see myself winning this matchup, and I really, really needed to win this matchup. Like, really, really needed to win it in terms of the rankings in this league. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Aiden, what's up, brother? Good to see you coming out for the night. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you had a great Sunday. Richard Glass, I benched Antonio for Amon-Ra. Yeah, what was up with Amon-Ra St. Brown today? I mean, looking like we have finally had a Lions receiver we could trust, and we don't. I don't know what to say about these Lions, the receiving core of the Lions, right? Every time we think we have the consistent guy, they step back, and then Khalif Raymond goes off, and then next week, Cephas will probably come out of nowhere, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown will get another 9 points, and we'll just go back and forth. So I don't know. We'll find out. But definitely not a good day for Amon-Ra St. Brown with the goose egg. All right. Let's see if you guys get to watch me get a fantasy loss live. It's wouldn't be the first time it's happened this season, but let's see here. Third down for the Colts. I need the football to stay out of the Niners' hands. And then I need, when the Niners do get the football back, I need an immediate turnover by the Colts. It could happen the way this game is going in terms of the rain. All right. Carson Wentz dropped back 3rd and 3. Finds his man, Michael Pittman, for the completion. First down. I need this drive to be as long as possible. And then I need Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell can just stay out of the game, man. I mean, any of you guys got Kyle Shanahan's number, just give him, a good word for me and keep those guys out of the game. And then I need a turnover by the Colts defense. So my chances of winning, I'm still up by a point. But my chances of winning right now, slim to none. So we'll see what happens. All right, 1st and 10 for the Colts. Take it to Jonathan Taylor. Finds Zach Pascal. First down. He goes out of bounds. The clock stops at 11:09. This is very intense for me, guys. Very, very intense for me. But we'll see. Bryant, you never know in fantasy. That's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it. So I'm up by, I should clarify. I'm up by 1.54 points. So that's better than 1 point. Okay. So we'll put that up there too. My opponent had the Buccaneers defense, which they just decimated me. And he had Patrick Mahomes. So I got very lucky there. And he had Josh Jacobs, who had a good game, but left the game early. So Carson Wentz almost threw an interception there. But I got lucky in this matchup, but I was very scared heading into the night, being up by 30, going up against Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell, right? Mitchell, I wasn't as scared about. He's had a fantastic game, but I just knew if Mitchell had 10-plus points, that Deebo himself could have 30 points. So I've been very scared, and now I'm even more scared. But if the Colts can somehow manage a turnover and the ball can stay out of Elijah Mitchell and Debo's hands, which is very unlikely, I can still win. So we'll see what happens. You'll see it here live at the Catch. I mean, it can't be as bad as the night I lost by half a point on when Aaron Jones is balling out, right? It can't be that bad. So, anyways, guys, let me know what's up, man. Let me know how everyone's doing. Let me know what else is going on with you guys. How did everyone do today? Who got the dub? Who did not? Um, what advice did we get right for you guys? What advice did we get wrong? Let me know what's good with you guys, what you're doing after the game. Man, I'm going to fire up some Madden for a little bit after the game does end. Tomorrow, man, we'll have our waiver wire video up for you guys. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Then we'll do our Monday Night Football hangout and kind of reaction to the entire week as the week comes to a close. And of course, some week 8 fantasy Q&A tomorrow as well. All right. 2nd and 15 for the Colts. Carson Wentz looking around. He scrambles, and he gets a first down. Let's go, Carson. Keep the ball out of Debo's hands and Elijah Mitchell's hands while we're at it. But 1st and 10 for the Colts. Okay. Oh, man, this is going to be so close for me. Brian, Cardinals and Packers going to be a good game. Oh, yeah. The Cardinals still the only undefeated team in the league. The Texans hung around for a little bit in the first half of that game, but I don't think anyone had a lot of confidence in them winning that football game. All right. 1st and 10 for the Colts. Naheem Hines gets tackled for a loss. Yeah, let's see here. This game is making me so nervous. Let's see. I'm going to pull up week 8. What do we got week 8? Oh, yeah, Thursday Night Football. That's right. Packers and Cardinals. We're going to get a great Thursday Night Football game for once. There we go. Panthers and Falcons, Titans and Colts, Dolphins and Bills. Some good divisional action. Bengals and Jets, Steelers and Browns, Rams and Texans. Yikes. Let's see here. Eagles and Lions, Niners and Bears, Pats, Chargers, Jags, Seahawks, Bucks, Saints, Washington and the Broncos, Cowboys and Vikings. Monday Night Football is the Chiefs and the Giants. That's going to be actually quite an interesting game. If the Giants can hang around against the Chiefs, that's going to be a huge indicator. Do I think they will? Or do I think they can? Probably not, but they played okay today versus Carolina, so we'll see. Let's see here. Phase 10 foil. I'm up by 24, and my opponent has Kamara. What do you think? I would be pretty scared, to be honest with you. What could benefit you the most is if the Saints get up early in this game, in the game script, they have the lead a majority of the game, and they don't really need to use Kamara too much, right? But Seattle has been so bad against opposing running backs that I do worry for you just a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. But don't get me wrong, we could see the Saints beat up on Seattle, and maybe we won't see as much Kamara involved, but I would not bank on it. We'll say a prayer for you. We've got a lot of people who are, up by 20, 30 points right now, but know that they're facing Kamara tomorrow and a very good matchup for Kamara. So we are praying for those of you in the Catch fam. Brian, and week 4, I won by 1 point because of the Mac Jones touchdown pass because he had Bucks defense. Okay, that gives me some faith. The Colts are winding this clock down, but there's a good amount of time left, man. It's 3rd and 12 here. And a little dump off to Jonathan Taylor. What can he do with it? Only about a 6-yard gain there. And 4th down. Are they going to go for it, considering the rain and everything, right? We'll see. Yeah, they're going to kick a field goal, looks like. Face 10 foil. I got sold by Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs both getting hurt for me. That's unfortunate, man. Nothing you could do there. I mean, luckily Jacobs put up a pretty good stat line while he did play, but yeah, nothing he could do there, man. Not like he made the wrong starts or anything. It's just unfortunate. All right, 42-yard field goal attempt by the Colts, and it is good. Right down the middle. Bryant, you just have to hope a pick six happens. I have 7 minutes of misery coming up for the rest of this football game. Man, I mean, if I had just started like any other receiver over Tim Patrick in the league, I probably would have won. I mean, I haven't lost yet, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, commercial break, of course. We'll just let me know what's up with you guys. Yeah, but some good games coming up here in week 8, man. Cowboys and Vikings, Sunday Night Football. Bucks and Saints could get a little interesting. We'll see. Let's see here. A lot of divisional games, though. I mean, Packers and Cardinals, a great Thursday Night Football game. But then to kick off on Sunday, we've got Panthers and Falcons, right? We got Titans and Colts, Dolphins and Bills, Steelers and Browns. And I mean, that's going to do it in terms of divisional games with the 1 o'clock games. But hey, a lot of divisional matchups, which are always good. Bengals and Jets, man. I think the Bengals are going to put a beating up on the Jets. Eagles and Lions is kind of an interesting game, right? Two of the better bad teams in the league, if that makes any sense. Rams got the Texans. God bless you if you have the Rams defense going against you. Niners and Bears. Should be actually a pretty good game for the Niners. I mean, you might want to look at picking up the Niners defense versus the Bears next week. Patriots, Chargers, Hunter Henry. That's the main storyline I think of there. Hunter Henry facing his old team. There we go. That should be an interesting game, but I think the Chargers coming off their bye week can have a lot of firepower already. Jags and Seahawks. That could actually be interesting with Geno Smith being the QB out there. Bucks and Saints, right? This is a big divisional game as well. But man, this Buccaneers football team, gosh, do they look good. Washington and Denver, pretty equal game once again in terms of who we've got out there. So that could be interesting. Cowboys and Vikings should be a good football game. But Giants and Chiefs on Monday Night Football, right? We got to see how the Chiefs can stand to the Giants, right? If they play bad against Giants, that's going to be very bad. Aiden, do you have anyone left still? I've got the Colts defense. I'm up by 1.5. My opponent has Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell. Bryant, I'm doing awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it, my guy. Wait, Deebo Samuel is the return man? I don't think we have in this league. I don't think we get points for that. But now I have to check. All right, turnover for the Colts. Okay, no points for that in this league. Okay, good. All right, this is where I either win or lose, guys. And I don't feel very good about it. Don't feel good at all. The odds are stacked against me here. Man, I was really praying for just a big play from Henry Ruggs today. Never happened. All right. So Elijah Mitchell gets a handoff, and I think I just lost. I don't know how many points are awarded per carry in this league. Not much. Not much. Okay, I've still got the lead. Okay, we're good. We're good. Brian's saying, dang, hopefully I'm not like a play behind and Deebo Samuel just took it to the house or anything. All right, turnover for the Colts. We need a turnover. You know, it's much more fun losing when you guys are watching me lose. I'll put that out there too. And tight end 89 gets the football. If the Colts can make a stop here, then that's going to be huge for me. Massive. All right, third down. The clock is ticking down. We still have hope. That's right, Bryant. That is right. And now they're putting the 49ers receivers stats in my face. Deebo Samuel, 7 receptions, 100 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Ayuk, 1 reception for 6 receiving yards. Yikes. All right, 3rd and 3 for the Niners. And let's see. Looking Deebo's way and intercepted. Yes. 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 Let's go. Did he score or was he out? Oh my God. No way. Jimmy G. I love you. Yes. Let's go. Oh, that was crazy, man. Oh, that was crazy, bro. No way. Xavier Rhodes? No way. He stayed in bounds. Oh my gosh, bro. Tell me that foot was in. It's in. Isn't it in? No way, bro. Please don't review this. Just give it to him. Backyard football. We don't need to. Okay, they're gonna review it. Of course they are. But even if he's not out, that's still huge. That's still huge. Okay, now I'm up. Now I'm up by 2 points. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah. It might actually be better if the Colts didn't score because now they can run this clock down and I can be up by 2. As opposed, I mean, how much? I'd probably be up by like 8 though if they did score, which would probably be better. But now I'm saying that the Niners might not get the football back. Okay, he was out. I see all your guys' comments. That was awesome. That was crazy, man. But if you really got the pick 6, that would have been far better. All right, now I just need the Colts to shed all of this time off the clock. Whew, that was insane, guys. That was insane. Oh my gosh. Bryant, Josh, Mr. Matt, J. Kim, Aiden. I see all you guys. That was insane, man. All right, nail biter it is. Even if I end up losing, that was a ton of fun. That was a ton of fun. And the Colts need to take some chances here, though. You know? All right, good. They're going play action. Come on, Carson, find a man. I've never felt so much love for Carson Wentz in my life until right now. If he gets me this fantasy win, I will buy, I promise you guys, on live stream, okay? I will buy a Carson Wentz jersey if I get this fantasy win, okay? I'm feeling it right now, Catch Fam. Oh my goodness, 3rd and 5. All right. All right. Man, can you imagine if they just scored there? Okay, Carson Wentz finds Michael Pittman and he has a first down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And injury timeout for the Niners, killing our momentum. I smell conspiracy here. I smell conspiracy. Someone trying to sabotage my potential fantasy win. But hope that he is healthy and can bounce back here as well. Wow, that was crazy. I'm still not over that interception. Wow. I gotta text Steven about this. All right, guys. What else is going on? I need distractions, guys. So right now I'm projected 118 points. He is projected 116 points. This is ridiculous if I get this dub. Absolutely ridiculous. Wow. Wow. All right, Kellen, what's going on, brother? Yo, I traded Hawk, Michael, Thomas, Kamara, and Ayuk for Eckler, Diggs, Mitchell, and Pollard. Who won? As long as you have a tight end you have faith in, then I'm going to say that, uh, assuming that you got the Eckler side of things, that you won that trade, hands down. Okay. Ayuk, throw him out the window. Michael Thomas, extremely uncertain, right? Kamara is the big part that you're losing there. But if you're gaining Austin Eckler, those guys are neck and neck in terms of value. And you could argue right now Eckler's been more valuable on the season. Schultz is my other tight end. I got the Eckler side. Then I'm fine with it, man. I mean, Schultz is still a top 5 fantasy tight end. Uh, as is Hawkinson too. But yeah, I'm fine with that trade, man. I mean, Eli Mitchell looks great tonight. If he can keep up this RB1 type consistency, then that's a huge win. And then Pollard overall, a great handcuff. And then listen, man, you somehow snagged Stephon Diggs out of that trade. You won that trade. Straight up won that trade. Great job overall, Kellen. I love that trade, man. I would absolutely say that you won. Aiden, how well do you think Kittle does when he returns? It just depends. Wow, depends. It depends on his health overall. And yeah, I think that Kittle will be just fine. But he's been relatively inconsistent on the year. But he's got to turn this thing around, I would think. So I think Kittle will be okay. Kellen, I also have Goddard. Then yeah, that's a killer trade, bro. And I see you saying appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's a great trade for you. I like it a lot. Let's see here. Bryant likes to trade as well. Mr. Matt J. Kim, what's Steve up to tonight? It's a good question. I believe he's just studying for his exam. I'll tell him that you guys miss him though. Great trade, Kellen. I love that trade. Somehow got Stephon Diggs in there too, bro. Yeah. Love it. All right, let's go Colts. Let's go Colts. Naheem Hines gets about 1 yard. Okay. Brian, all Colts have to do is burn clock. That is true. But knowing the Colts, they could very quickly screw this up. So we'll see what happens. This is going to sound weird, but the best thing that could possibly happen right now is for the Colts to burn a little bit more time, then throw like a pick six, which gets the Niners in the lead, and then the Colts get the ball back. The Niners don't touch the football again. Because that doesn't hurt the Colts defense, and it keeps the ball away from the 49ers players, and it ends the game as well. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. All right, Carson, drop it back, 2nd and 10, and an incomplete pass to Zach Pascal. Steven says he misses you guys. He'll be on this week and be on a lot more once his exam is over. So there's your message for those of you missing Steven. All right, let's see here. Bryant, why are they throwing it? Because they're the Colts. That's why. Jerry, do you have the Colts defense in all your leagues? No, I do not. But I guess in most of my leagues I do. Yeah, Catch Fam and my primary league, I guess I do. Yeah. So 2 out of 3. All right. Come on, Carson. What is this? He's wide open. Please catch it. Yes. Yes. Okay, that doesn't really help me too much, man. Shout out to you guys that have Pittman. If I was Pittman and I cared about fantasy plays for guys like me, I would have just, taken a knee there. And he didn't do that, man. Freaking Pittman. But great call on anyone who started Pittman tonight. Great catch. Great play by Pittman. Really wasn't any room for him to go anywhere but the end zone, the way he came down with that. So great play by Pittman, man. But yes, if you guys are wondering, I am now very nervous. Very nervous. How much are you up by? 2 points. And hey, maybe the Colts defense does something again in this rainy game. We'll see. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is bad. I'm up by 2.14 point. Oh, no. 3 points, guys. 3.14 points. I don't know how that changed, but it changed. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Aiden, maybe another pick. That's best case scenario for sure. Mr. Matt J. Kim, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, Hunter Renfrow, and Tony are on the wire. Who should I pick up when I drop Allen Robinson? Marvin Jones or Christian Kirk for sure. I mean, I love Hunter Renfrow, but I just think Jones and Kirk have far higher upsides, right? That Giants receiving room is just too inconsistent. I'd stay away from Tony, quite honestly. I'm not huge on him. I might be wrong on that call, but I would lean towards Jones or Kirk. I would put in a waiver for both, just depending on the rest of your league, right? There might be those guys might be on, hot waiver pickups, right? So I would put in a waiver for Kirk or Jones. And I think Jones on a consistency basis will probably be the better pick out of the two. As Christian Kirk allows these, high ceiling opportunities, but doesn't always perform on them. So I think I go Jones then Kirk. And that would be my top two guys. All right, let's see here. James, pick up Michael Carter or Eli Mitchell. That's a great question, man. I like both of those guys quite a bit. And I think that they present pretty similar value. Whoa. Oh, I thought Jimmy G was out of the game for a second. I was like, what in the world? Okay. Anyways, yeah. James, I would put in a waiver for both of them. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take just a quick pause from the chat to watch how this unfolds. As you guys know, that I have got a lot riding on this game right now, and I need Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell to just do absolutely nothing in this game for the rest of the game. Don't know why there's a different corner on Deebo Samuel, but I don't like that. And yeah, I do see that they're not really putting Elijah Mitchell out there, which is good. 2-minute warning. Okay. James, drop Logan Thomas for Hunter Henry. Compare the two when Thomas comes back, not including his injury right now. That's a great question, man. Listen, Hunter Henry has been so incredibly consistent that I love where he's at, man. I really do. But once again, you look at the past couple weeks for Hunter Henry, you wipe away those touchdowns, it's not very good if you look at the stat lines with no touchdowns, right? But I think it's worth, in terms of consistency, I do think it's worth dropping Thomas for Hunter Henry. But if he can find a way to have all three, James, then I think that's fine. And yeah, James, listen, with Michael Carter and Eli Mitchell, I think you put in a waiver for both of them. I think moving forward, I want to like Michael Carter a little bit more. Is that crazy? He seems to be, even with the performance that Mitchell's having tonight, I still do not trust the San Francisco 49ers running backs, right? So I like both of them. I think they're both worth a waiver priority, though. Mr. Matt J. Kim James are already picked up. Bryant, they have Sermon in. Even if Deebo gets a 15-yard catch, you still win. Yeah, I mean, the advantage I have at this exact moment is that this is a half PPR league. So that's working my advantage. And I hate half PPR. I'm definitely a fan of full PPR. But right now, thank you, Steven, who's the commissioner of this league, for making it a half PPR league. You are helping out my chances here. All right. 2nd and 5, 2-minute warning is over. Taking a quick pause to view this game. Okay, where's Deebo? Jimmy G looking Deebo's way. He's covered, looks the other way, and an interception. Yes. 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 Let's go. Thank you, Jimmy G. I love Jimmy G. Let's go, man. That was crazy. Yes. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy, bro. I'm so happy, bro. That's insane. That's one of my favorite fantasy wins of all time. Oh my gosh, I really needed that win, man. Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess it's not over, but I'm pretty sure it's over. Oh my gosh, I'm going to win by 5 points. Let's go. Let's go, catch fam. That's how we do it, baby. That's how we do it. I knew I needed to trust the Colts. And now I got to buy a Carson Wentz jersey on live stream. So that's coming up next. Stay tuned. Okay. Jason Kenobi, what's going on, brother? Well, I said I had a 25 floor and 100 ceiling. They got me 65. Now all I need is Metcalf to score less than 30, which is very likely with Geno at the quarterback position against the Saints defense for me to win. I think you got it, Jason. I think you got it. Absolutely. Chase down 11 with Kamara. Watch him not get double digits. It could happen. You never know. But it's a very bad matchup, right? So, it's a very good matchup for Kamara and a very bad matchup for you facing Kamara. James Zhao, would you drop Julio in an 8-man? In an 8-man league, yes. Yes, I think he's a droppable player in an 8-man league. 10, maybe you hold out hope. 12, probably worth stashing on your roster in case. 14 plus, worth keeping. 8-man, I think you can drop him. I see you guys getting pumped for me. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Wow. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Insane. Chase, that Pittman TD helped me beat Philly Mike in the catch fan. Let's go, Pittman. That was a great score by Pittman as well. And let's see. 3rd down. So timeout. I don't want to celebrate too early. 3rd and 2. No timeouts for the Niners. But the Colts got to convert here. James, Corey Davis, Jones Jr., or Shepard to pick up. Ooh. Ooh. I think Corey Davis is the most inconsistent out of those players. Uh-oh. Either a penalty on the Niners or the Colts here. Let's see here. So between Shepard, I think I like Jones Jr., but I really, at the same time, I love Shepard as well. How did Shepard do today? He was inactive today? Wow. How did I miss that? I think ooh. That's tough. I'd say Shepard or Jones, but I think I like Jones a little bit more right now. Where's your head at, James, between the three? Yo, I won by 5-2. Let's go. Jason, I picked up Tyler Boss this week. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that, bro. He's going to be an extremely consistent kicker on the year, man. Emmy, what's going on? Aaron Jones and Daryl Williams lost me my game. Yeah, they had bad days. I'm sorry to hear that. I truly am. It's a long season, though. We got plenty of time, guys. And 3rd and 7, the Niners are going to get the football back with 20 seconds. If I lose this game, somehow, I am going to go crazy. Let's see here, Emmy. Should I drop Darnell Mooney for Laviska Shenault? It's a good question. I think when looking at the two offenses, the Jaguars are going to be more consistent. So you could definitely consider it, right? And Mooney, we were a player that we really liked going into the week, played quite poorly today, but really the Bears offense is just so bad right now, and they have the Rams next week. So I don't mind that move at all right now. I truly don't. Brian, I swear if Debo gets a 50-yard catch, yeah, that'd not be good. Aiden, they're getting the ball back. Yeah. Mr. Matt J. Kim, heck yeah, I'm up 28 points, and I still have the New Orleans defense tomorrow versus Marquez Callaway. I got this in the bag. Yeah, I think you're straight there. I think you are. Chase, Bears offense is so difficult to trust. Matt Nagy should be fired, says Emmy. I absolutely agree with you guys in both of those circumstances. I don't want any Bears players on my roster. I don't either, other than Herbert. I do like my guy Herbert, man. All right, let's see here. Brandon Ayuk fielding this, and the Niners will have 9 seconds. They can't. There's no way they win this football game, but they can make me lose my fantasy matchup. So we'll stay tuned. Jerry, pairing Stafford and Cup turned out to be a good idea. I would say a great idea, to say the least. Jason, how much longer is Chark out? I think he's out the whole season. Yes, as Chase is saying, he's not coming back this season. Bryant, 9 seconds. Yeah, I'm scared. Where is Debo? Okay, he's on the left side. I mean, I guess all they can do is throw a Hail Mary, right? And Jimmy G spinning around, and he's going to get sacked. He gets sacked. Okay, let's go. Let's go, man. Dub in the books. I needed that, man. Needed that. That's awesome. Let's go. Wow. That was one of the biggest nail biters I've ever had in fantasy football. Wow. All right. Jerry Neely, 65 points from Cup and Stafford. Yikes. If you got him, bro. Chase Brown, Cup going in first 2 rounds easily next year's draft. Probably right up there at this point with Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, right? Wow. What a win. Yes, I completely agree with you there, Bryant. What a win. All right, let's see. Emmy, Chase or Cup next year? Yeah, that's a great question as well. Statistically, I think we still lean with Cup, but Chase is going to be right up there. Right up there, man. All right. Who? Jason Burrow, Chase Stack, crazy this week. Yeah, they both went ballistic. I really like what I'm seeing out of Joe Burrow. He's playing great football. Chase Brown, next year's draft going to be crazy. Can't wait for it, man. Isn't it crazy? This year's already halfway over. It's just flying by. Jason, wait till next year to ask that. Yeah, we could speculate. Why not? Chase Brown says Cup. Fair enough. XX Lex, I don't understand why Pittman only got 4 targets. Maybe the rain. I would say the rain had the most to do with that, but he made the most out of those 4 targets. Absolutely. XX Lex, or Emmy says the rain. I live in the Bay and it's crazy. Yeah, they were showing like the weather maps and everything, and it looks like it's going to be pretty intense. So, hopefully all is well for those of you out there in the Bay. Jerry, I owe everything to Straw. What, Luffy23? He drafted Justin Jefferson over Cup. Hey, great shout out, Jerry. At least you're giving credit where it's due. I was able to get Cup and Hill because of him. Yeah, and going wide receiver heavy really worked for you as well. All right, so I have got to buy a Carson Wentz jersey. I told you guys I would if I won that matchup, and no one has brought it up, but I haven't forgotten. So let's see here. Is it bad if I buy a Carson Wentz Eagles jersey? They're the same price. So can I buy someone cool on the Colts? All right, let's see here. Chase Brown, is CMC coming back week 9? I hope so, but at this point I'm not I don't have any faith in when CMC is coming back. So I hope so, but we'll see. Jonathan or JJ still pretty freaking good too. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing bad to say about Justin Jefferson by any means. Emmy, my opponent next week has Stafford, Cup, and Chase. I'm doomed. You never know. You never know. But that does not look great. Let's see here. Aiden, I scored a whole 48 points this week. Listen, man, I put I did everything I could to give you hope for the week. So I did my best to help you out, man. But I think you made the right move to not dropping those players that you had available. None of your players are worth dropping. So thank you for the quote unquote free win. But I did try to at least make it somewhat fair. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Magic Kim, can you tell Steve thanks for the Nick Folk stream? I absolutely will. Yeah, Nick Folk had a monster day too. I absolutely will though. And when's the next kicker video? That should be out Tuesday or Wednesday of this coming week is usually when we get that one out. So definitely not too far away. Jason, Darius Leonard. Yeah, maybe I'll switch to Darius Leonard. I don't know if I want Carson Wentz jersey. Let's see here. Bryant. RIP to everyone who took CMC. Yeah. I keep I keep thinking about my matchups and if I had Derrick Henry in them and not CMC in my Mine Stevens league where I took CMC first overall. Yeah. Jason, I started full because I'm a Pats fan and the Jets suck ass. Yeah, fair enough. Jason, no, you do know she's doomed. There's some doom and gloom coming up, man. For sure, for Emmy. Chase Brown, wait, when is CMC coming back? Didn't hear. If he ain't coming back soon, I'm going to have to trade him. Let's see what we've got on any news here for Christian McCaffrey. Let's see here. All right. None of these seem very up to date. All right, this is a day ago, but I don't know if this is going to give us any relevant information. This is just an article about the dangers of building your team around a running back. Well, I'm assuming it's week 9 or 10. From everything I've already seen for the week, but I don't see anything of relevant news coming up for Christian McCaffrey. So from what I've read before tonight, it's going to be week 9 or 10. So we'll see. Emmy, where I'm glad I dropped Sam Darnold. Me too. I'm glad that you did. And I'm glad that no one really took my advice because there are a lot of streamers that I liked this week. And I had Sam Darnold in there in a bounce back game. And obviously he did not have one. But obviously I pushed more for guys like Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, and Tua, who Emmy, I see you saying you picked up Tua. Yeah. Tua was a great stream this week. Absolutely. Jason, someone in my league lost by 1 and they started the Jets defense. Yeah, I saw that out there as a potential stream for the week. Different, resources and things. And I was like, I ain't buying that. I ain't buying the Jets defense this week. Not at all. Mac Jones looked pretty good today, too. Wow. Listen, man, fantasy aside, right? Biggest takeaway from this Colts-Niners game as replays are on the screen next to me. I don't know if Jimmy G's that dude, man. Does 2 interceptions within the game. I don't know if Jimmy G's that dude. Let's see here. Emmy, I need Kamara not to play tomorrow to win. Hey, you never know. You never know. Chase couldn't trade him and Keenan Allen for Henry and Diggs. The owner wants to keep Henry and Diggs, and I don't blame them for wanting to keep them. But you might be able to get a pretty good value out of trading Keenan Allen and Christian McCaffrey, I would think. All right, so I have to buy a Colts jersey. Jason Kenobi suggested Darius Leonard. Wow, an autographed Darius Leonard jersey is like the same as a non-autographed one. Is that for real? Is that really autographed? How can we tell that? How can we know this is autographed? Okay, it's JSA certified. I'm gonna have to look this up. It's JSA certification legit. Okay, PSA is far superior, but JSA is good. Okay. COA, JSA. Okay. Maybe we won't go for the autographed one, but they're not that much more expensive. Let's see here. Chase could try and get Swift, Jefferson, and maybe Mike Williams. I think those are great options. Yeah. I like all those guys for sure. They're going to help you now as opposed to potentially helping you later. So I don't mind that at all. So what did I just say? So I think I'm buying a Darius Leonard signed football jersey on live stream. Is that crazy? Dude, Darius Leonard has like the lamest autograph I've ever seen. All right, I got to I don't know if I trust this. I'm on Amazon, so I'm like, this looks legit, but I don't know if it's legit. So this one's autographed and framed, but I don't really want to drop that. That one's much more expensive. Okay, this one, he's got a different signature. Oh, this one, maybe he used to sign it different. Maybe I should just not buy an autographed one. Let's see here. Okay, Chase Brown. Would you do a 2-for-2 where I trade away CMC and Allen for Swift and Jefferson? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair trade. I think that's a good trade. Jerry, do it, John. I have to check out this autograph now. Hold up. I'm just going to pull it up for you guys. All right. Okay, yeah, that's shown for you guys, I think. All right. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. This autograph, like what is that? I don't know. And then look, when we go to these ones, it's signed so differently. Like, look at that. What kind of autograph is that? I mean, it says it's JSA certified, but apparently JSA is like, yeah, So James Spence authentication. There's no reviews. Not that Amazon reviews are like always the best thing to rely on, but most of these that do have reviews only have like 1-3 reviews. That one's not autographed, but yeah, this one's only got 1 review. I don't think there's any other players I'd consider buying a jersey of from the Colts, unless it was like an old school one, right? Like if it was Peyton Manning. So yeah, I don't know. As now we're getting into Dick Butkus and Philip Lindsay somehow. Here's this says it's signed. See, that's a different signature as well from the other 2 we've seen. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me get back to the chat and see what kind of autographs is that. Jason says just buy a regular one from NFL Shop. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Let's see here. Uh-oh, press the wrong button. Oop, there we are. Yeah, I might just do that. But I was kind of getting excited, like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to have an autographed jersey. Let's see here. Mr. Matt J. Kim, I got a stream of QB for Lamar Jackson's bye next week. Who do you guys like? Cousins versus Dallas or Burrow versus the Jets? Burrow versus the Jets is a beautiful stream next week. And at this point, Joe Burrow might just have to be a guy who's rostered in fantasy leagues, man. There's been a little bit inconsistent, hasn't hit over that 20 mark too often. But yeah, Joe Burrow versus the Jets is absolutely my guy out of the 2. Dallas has been pretty good, against opposing receivers or opposing quarterbacks. They haven't been great, but their defense overall has been good enough that I would much rather trust Burrow versus the Jets. Chase Brown, what about CMC, Hubbard, Allen for Swift, Jefferson, and Williams? Yes, I think that's a great trade, but I don't know. Yeah, owner might not accept it since it would be too much. I don't know. I don't know if that's as likely. Yeah, Jason says great deal for you, but I don't see it getting done. I think I agree. You can always try it though. Jerry, I might have to stream either Teddy or Wentz. I think Wentz is fine. I don't know how I feel about Teddy right now, though. Chase, because I want to throw in Hubbard so he has backup. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, but you're getting a lot more value than he is. You know what I'm saying? Jerry, Teddy versus Washington or Wentz versus Tennessee? Gosh, I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were like, stream everyone versus Tennessee. every receiver and quarterback and receiving running back start him against Tennessee. But now I'm like, I don't know. They just play the two of the best teams in the league, at least two of the most competitive teams in leagues, and beat them and played quite well, right? Now Josh Allen played fine against Tennessee, but Patty Mahomes did not. But nonetheless, I'm still leaning Carson Wentz versus Tennessee between those two players, Jerry. Jason, I picked up Burrow this week in Catch Fam. What a wonderful decision. Beautiful decision by you, Jason. Absolutely beautiful. Chase Brown, maybe I should try just trading CMC and Hubbard for another two players. You could do that as well, not including Keenan Allen. I don't think that's bad. Chase Brown, CMC and Hubbard for Swift and Jefferson, fair. I think you win that trade immediately, at least. But Christian McCaffrey is still Christian McCaffrey. So, yeah, I don't want to say it's an unfair trade. All right, guys, let's see here. Is it bad if I just buy a Peyton Manning jersey? I mean, that's still showing like love for the Colts, right? Out of tonight. All right, let's see here. I mean, it has to be a Peyton Manning Colts jersey, right? Omaha. They just got a hoodie on here that says Omaha. Wow, dude, the Peyton Manning selections are not that great. Maybe I should just go to NFL Shop. It was just going to be quicker through Amazon because I don't order things off NFL Shop. All right, let's see here. Emily, good evening. What are your thoughts on Michael Gallup when he comes back from IR? Yeah, if Michael Gallup, hold on. All right, I had to exit out of NFL Shop. Apparently, that was too much for my computer to handle. Okay. I was noticing it was a little bit laggy. But yeah, I think Michael Gallup, if he's hanging around in your leagues, he's worth picking up in full PPR. Listen, man, I think that Gallup can be very productive on the season. 1,000 receiving yards last year, right? This Cowboys offense looks great. Will this hurt some value of some of these other guys like Mark Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz? Potentially, but I wouldn't worry too much. But yes, I think picking up Michael Gallup is a great idea if you're hurting at the receiver position. Chase Brown, how much longer should I wait? Man, if you want to try and pull the trigger and try and get Swift and Jefferson, I don't think it's the worst idea. But I would be a little bit, if you do trade away, our guy, Christian McCaffrey, then you just have to understand what you're potentially losing in terms of value, right? And as long as you're comfortable with it and you're in the win now mentality, then I don't think it's going to hurt, right? All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Jerry, I didn't hear your opinion on what QB to stream. I would lean. Oh gosh, I would lean Carson Wentz versus Tennessee. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would definitely lean Carson Wentz out of those two guys. All right, let's see. Oh, I could get a Quentin Nelson jersey. You guys are like, I don't care about this jersey thing anymore. Just pick one, John. You don't even have to do it. We won't be mad at you. Wow, Andrew Luck youth football jersey is $14.99. I think I'm just buying a Peyton Manning jersey. Is that bad? You guys be mad if I just buy a Peyton Manning jersey? It's still showing support, right? Okay, let me know. All right. Chase Brown, he has Barkley and Hunt already out. I don't know if he wants another injured running back. I'll text him and see if he's even interested. Yeah, do that first. Real good. What's going on, man? Hey, Catch. I'm 2-5. My players on bye, and his players were on bye, but his players just played good. Yikes. Sorry to hear it, man. There's still time to turn it around, but yeah, this next week's gonna be very crucial for you, Real Goated. But it's good to see you, man. Let me know what questions you got on the night, bro. Sounds good. The Titans have been looking scary recently. And that's what I was saying, man. Like 2 weeks ago, we were saying stream everyone who catches a football or throws a football versus Tennessee. And now I'm like, I don't know, right? But I do think that Wentz is a fine move over Bridgewater, at least over Bridgewater, comparing the two. Jason Kenobi says no. Jerry says I'm 100% invested into this jersey. You need to get a Wentz jersey. Oh gosh. Okay. If Jerry says to do it, I'll do it. James Zhao, Pitts over Waller. Yeah, right now it's looking like the move, man. I don't know if we can trust Waller. I mean, inactive today, but just been inconsistent on the season. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Pitts might be the way to go, guys. At least between those two, which is crazy. I mean, preseason, I don't think we would have said that. Jason, anyone in the Catch fan want Gibson or Barkley? I'll trade you Brandon Ayuk for Barkley if you're down with that, man. That sound good, bro? Jerry, wait, don't get a Wentz jersey. Okay. I have to buy a Colts jersey tonight on the stream. I mean, that I told you guys I would. This Peyton Manning jersey looks very, very beautiful, though. Aaron the Goat. Hey, I need Saints D to score 3.5 points tomorrow for me to win. Do you like my chances? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. I think that you'll probably come away with the dub if that's all you got to do, man. I mean, Geno Smith is throwing the football, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I think it's a fine trade. Oh my gosh, there's this meme now going around of a 49ers fan in the stadium from tonight, just soaking wet with goggles on. Oh gosh. Let's see here. That's a good trade, except that Aaron the Goat. Thanks, man. Absolutely, bro. That's what we're here for, of course. Yeah, I think you're in good shape there if that's all you need. Jason Waller has been very consistent, just consistently meh. Yeah, fair enough. Jerry, is there a signed Wentz jersey? Let's find out. Let's find out. Amazon's getting crazy. Carson Wentz, Colts jersey. Apparently not. Yeah, apparently not. At least not on Amazon. Wow. A Tom Brady signed Super Bowl jersey is $3,000. Big difference between a Darius Leonard signed jersey and a Tom Brady Super Bowl signed jersey. Yeah, no Wentz signed jerseys available. Maybe I should check a different site though. Let's see here. Jason, after today, is AJ Brown back to wide receiver 1 status? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Especially against poor secondaries. Yeah. Emily, who are your top waiver pickups for week 8? Make sure to stay tuned tomorrow because I will drop our waiver wire pickup video. I don't have my notes completely put together here, but I can take a quick look here. I mean, with the injury to Miles Sanders, right, then we definitely want to take a swing on Kenneth Gainwell this week. Outside of that, let me see who else is out there. Rashad Bateman might be a sneaky pick, although that the Ravens are on bye, right? If Zach Ertz is floating around, he's going to be a good option as well. Do we want to consider Russell Gage? I'm not quite sure, right? I'm not quite sure. You take away that touchdown pass. I'm not quite sure. Braylon Edwards had a good day. Khalif Freeman had a good day. I don't know if you want to trust them either. Definitely Gainwell. Still like Bateman. Like Zach Ertz. Those are really the top players I'm looking at. Mo Alley Cox, if he's hanging around, man. Mo Alley Cox doesn't look bad. Samaje Perine had a good day too. Brandon Bolden had a good day. So those might be guys we bring up. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned tomorrow. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the waiver wire pickup video tomorrow. And I'll see if there's not. Let me see who else is up here. Yeah, those are going to be my top players at this given moment. But, oh my gosh. Oh, I got burnt in my 20-man league. Yeah, no way I was going to win. Okay, anyways. Let's see here. Oh, gosh. Make sure you stay tuned tomorrow. I'm going to give you a better breakdown of everything. And once I have my notes together and everything. Okay. V, what's going on? I played Hines over Bolden at 12.58 and got burned so hard. Yikes. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, Bolden actually, the New England Patriots backfield combined for like 5 touchdowns. So they had a great day overall, but Bolden had a good day too. James Zhao, get a Geno Smith jersey. No way. No way. Jerry, no one wants a Wentz autograph. Apparently not. Try to buy Brady's 600 touchdown ball. Yeah, if I was that fan in the stands, now I see you saying, Jerry, if a player hands a ball to a fan, can that fan refuse to give it back? Yeah, I would have been like, listen, I want dinner with Brady. I want to, fly on a private jet to dinner with Brady, and I want him to buy me a house, and then I will turn over this football. And it probably wouldn't have worked out, but that's a good question, man. I mean, luckily he was just like, yeah, you could have it. But, I'm kind of surprised. When Mike Evans scored his next touchdown, he ran up to the fans and was pointing at them. I thought he was finding that same fan to give him that football, but instead he was giving it to someone wearing a Mike Evans jersey. And then when he scored his third touchdown, I was like, he's got to give it to the guy who gave up the 600 touchdown ball. And he gave it to a different fan. So maybe that equipment manager, whoever it was who was talking to the fan, worked something out. But I'd be interested. I mean, that's a hot, headline. That's a big story of the weekend. So I'd be interested to know. The Ertz or Schultz for rest of season. Ooh, I think I'm leaning Schultz still. I do like Ertz quite a bit, but I think I'm still leaning Schultz. Ertz or Goddard? That's a great question as well. I view them in pretty similar fashion, but that's tough. I want to say Ertz, but I think it might end up being Goddard just due to how many more mouths there are to feed on the Cardinals team. So I think I'm leaning Goddard there. Let's see here. V also is Bolden a good RB to keep over Pollard rest of the season, 14-man league, and literally no one left in RB. If you can, I mean, especially if it's scarce, I mean, I think you try and hold on to both of those guys. But if you have to drop one, I mean, I don't want to trust the New England Patriots backfield, but maybe we do. Maybe. But it's tough to say. Pollard's such a good handcuff, and he doesn't even need Ezekiel Elliott to be out, right? So that's tough. I mean, I like both of those guys right now, though. Jerry Ertz might be good for a TD catch. I think Goddard will be more consistent. I think I agree there as well. I mean, Ertz is definitely going to be touchdown dependent. That's for sure. V, it's a tough one. It's absolutely 1,000% a tough one. Top 5 tight ends from Jerry. Ooh, that's tough. It's tough. Let's pull up the stats. All right, let's see here. I mean, obviously, Travis Kelce is still going to be number 1 for me. It's tough currently. I still got Kelce. I still got Mark Andrews, man. I got Mike Gesicki right now. Kyle Pitts. Ooh, that's so tough. I mean, and Dawson Knox is not healthy, so I'm not including him. If Dawson Knox was healthy, he'd definitely be in there. I almost want to include him just because I love Dawson Knox. But and then I guess Dalton Schultz or TJ Hawkinson. Waller's been so disappointing, but Henry's playing great. Fant still playing very consistent. Goddard, when healthy, is fine. So, yeah, I think Kelsey, Andrews, Pitts, Mike Gesicki, man, I'm still on the Mike Gesicki train. And it would be Dawson Knox if healthy, but since he's not, I think I'm leaning Dalton Schultz still. So, yeah, no Darren Waller in there. I mean, I guess Darren Waller's right there, though, right? But he's just been so inconsistent, man. Elver, what if I told you that A.J. Brown would score more points than Hill and Redley in Week 7 combined? Yeah, that's a great stat for you. I probably wouldn't have believed you, but yeah, he did. Aaron Reborn, yo, should I trade Kelsey for a trade with Eckler and Waller or Cooper Kupp or Derrick Henry? If you're confident in your backup tight end, then you get one of those guys. I mean, I'm not going to argue against Kupp or Henry, and even Eckler and Waller, I'm not going to argue against, even though I just talked about how much more I like Kelsey on the season than Waller. So, yeah, I don't think those are bad trade targets. Jared, I'm surprised that Hunter Henry has been playing so well. He has been fantastic lately, man. But he wiped away those touchdowns. A little worrisome, right? Aaron Reborn, should I trade Patterson and Kelsey for Aaron Jones and Elliott? It just depends on who your tight end 2 is there. I mean, that's going to offer you some pretty good consistency. But once again, guys, Patterson has just been so consistent, man. I don't know how we can get away from how good he's been, right? Jerry, I heard so much about Waller before the season. I feel like it's been weeks since his name was brought up. Yeah, he's been so incredibly inconsistent. I mean, normally, I mean, we saw the Week 1 performance where he had 19 targets and he just went absolutely crazy against the Ravens. That's what we're used to. Maybe not on a week-to-week basis, but through the first 7 weeks, we'd expect at least 3 games like that, and then to be much, much higher in terms of consistency overall on his weekly ceiling. So he's been disappointing this season. Definitely the second tight end taken in most drafts. So definitely been disappointing on the season. All right, let's see here. I'm going to scoot my face around. Let's see here. V, thoughts of Higgins in the flex? I think he's a great flex player. Yeah. He's still, it's interesting. He's garnering far more targets than Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase is just doing so much more with his few targets, right? But Higgins is still the next most valuable receiver on that team, right? And yeah, I think in terms of him being a flex play, he's a fantastic flex play. So yeah, I don't mind him in the flex whatsoever. All right, so we still maybe we'll come back to this jersey situation later. I don't want to waste too much time on it. Maybe I just buy a Darius Leonard jersey. All right, vote in the chat. Vote in the chat, guys. In the next 5 minutes. Darius Leonard or Peyton Manning? Who do I buy? Let me know. You guys make the call. V, thanks. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we are here for. Aaron Reborn, I don't have a backup tight end, but I hope I can get one off the waiver. But I can either give up Patterson or Hunt or James Robinson with Kelsey for Jones and Elliott or the other trade. So I would hang on to Travis Kelsey then. I would. And then I would say give up. I mean, if you can give up Hunt, do it while he's hurt. And then hold on to Patterson or Robinson. If you can do that, where it's Patterson or Robinson with Hunt. Oh, no, I'm reading that wrong. I can either give up Patterson or Hunt or Robinson with Kelsey. Okay, I'm sorry. For Jones and Elliott, that's tough. That's a tough call. I mean, it would just depend on what tight end you're picking up because you're losing a lot of value at tight end. And, I mean, I still think you actually have pretty good value at the RB position between Patterson, Hunt when healthy, and James Robinson. So I don't know if the trade is completely necessary, considering that you're losing the number 1 tight end in fantasy football. Jerry, I need to drop Peoples-Jones to pick up Wentz. I think that's fine. I think it's fine. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Jerry, I think the Peyton Manning is the best one. Yeah, we might end up with Peyton Manning tonight. V, I'm up by 16.5 points and half PPR. I still have No defense, but he has Alvin Kamara. Chances of actually winning. You've got a chance. Yeah, you've got a chance. But the Seahawks have been very, very bad against opposing running backs. And Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara and will likely do Alvin Kamara things. So, do you have a chance to win? Yes, you do. But it's not great. I'm not going to lie to you. But you never know. You saw that victory. You guys saw the victory I got tonight. And you never know. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy the Peyton Manning jersey in honor of tonight's victory. It's on sale. It's on sale. Loading my order summary. It's taking a while. All right, guys, let me know what else is going on. Everyone, make sure you hit that like button. If you guys are new here and listening in, make sure you subscribe down below, become part of the Catch fam. Davis, what's going on? I'm up 18 with New Orleans defense left. He has DK left. Do you think I win? I think you've definitely got a good shot. Yeah, absolutely. I don't look for DK to play bad, but I don't look for him to play fantastic. But I think the good thing there is that you've got New Orleans defense who should have a pretty good day overall, being that Geno Smith is throwing the football. So I don't mind that. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Okay. Okay, I'm buying the Peyton Manning jersey in honor of tonight's stream. Okie doke. It's taking a second, but I'm doing it. I would show you guys, but I don't know if this is information I should put up on the screen. Okay. Placing my order. All right. We bought a jersey in honor of the Catch fam and in honor of tonight's stream. There we go. V says good chances you will. Geno sucks. Davis, thank you. Yeah. I agree. Jerry, so much Geno hate in this stream. Shake my head. I know you love Geno Smith, Jerry, but I don't think he's going to play well tomorrow. I actually don't know that you love him, but I'm just saying that because why not? Aaron Reborn, I can pick up Uzma from the Bengals for tight end, and if I don't do the Kelsey trade, should I give it one of my RBs with Mike Williams for Cup? I would rather see you do that than trade away Travis Kelsey. I mean, if you can get Cup and Kelsey and still keep James Robinson and keep Cordero Patterson, I think that's going to look much better for you. Listen, I like Uzma and everything, man, but he has not been consistent, guys. So I don't know, as good as he looked today, as good as he looked in week 3, we didn't see a whole lot of production and in between games for him. So I think that I'm still leaning keeping Travis Kelsey in your circumstance, man. But if you can wind up with Cup, I'm not going to argue against it, man. I mean, if you can trade Patterson or James Robinson with Mike Williams for Cooper Cup, yeah, I do think it's worth it. But do keep in mind, we're not going to always see these crazy, crazy high ceilings out of Cooper Cup. Now, most of the time, we probably will. But at the same time, just keep in mind if you do trade for him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just keep in mind that he might not have a 30-point game next week. Is the point I'm trying to make. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load up some Madden for the night. Let's see, Jerry, but when Uzma hits, he hits. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that, man. Not going to disagree with that. All right, let's see here. Jerry, I like the upcoming matchups for Cup. Yeah, that always helps as well. All right, there we go. Got Madden. You know how we got to do it. Face of the franchise time, baby. All right, so we'll probably hang around for a little bit longer. So let me know what you guys got going on. Let me know what you guys are thinking heading into either Monday Night Football or Week 8. And we'll just keep rolling here, man. So thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight, man. It's been a blast so far. We bought a Peyton Manning jersey. We got a fantasy dub. New playoff pictures on my stream. Arizona, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, all 6-1. Dallas 5-1. Wild card spots. LA Rams 6-1. Saints 3-2, and the Vikings 3-3 in the hunt. The Falcons and Bears are the only two teams I saw. Sorry. JT moving. Nobody's really talking about him. But is it time to trade DJ Moore with the way Sam Darnold is playing? Because I need to have 20-plus majority of weeks for me to be able to win. You could definitely consider it, but I still think due to volume, right, there's nobody else for Sam Darnold to throw to. So I do think in terms of full PPR, he still holds quite a bit of value. So it just depends on what you can get out of him, because you're going to need to get a wide receiver 1 or potentially package him with someone else, right? So it just depends on your overall roster and who you can get out of him as well. Jerry, why does your screen go crazy whenever you switch to Madden? Yeah, it looks like I'm in Inception or something. It's a weird streaming thing. A lot of when you're sharing your screens on almost every streaming platform, that's how it looks. So I don't know, but it's just a streaming thing. I don't know, Jerry. It is weird though. It used to really freak me out. I thought I was like doing something wrong, but it's just an Inception-y thing that it does. The Cardinals defense is allowing the fewest points per game this season. Packers and Cardinals Thursday Night Football. They are already talking about it. That might have to be a game that we stream during the entire game. Would you guys, if I did like live play-by-play hangouts for some of these games, here's my question. Would you guys watch them and listen to them while you play the game? Or would you rather watch on, the normal broadcast? That's my question for you guys tonight. All right, let's see here. JT moving. I picked up Christian Kirk off the waivers, and everyone in my league saying he's a waiver wire player. But in my opinion, I think he could be a decent flex. I do think he is a good flex, especially against poor defenses like we saw today. And I think he's worth keeping on your roster. Just some of the, ceilings that these teams are that the Cardinals play at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think he's worth keeping. Just keep in mind that some weeks he's going to have a low floor as well. Jerry, at least Madden isn't lagging. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, I don't know what was up the last 2 nights or so with Madden, but I'm glad that it looks good to you guys tonight. All right, Jerry, I agree with you, JT. Jerry, I enjoy watching the games on the stream. It's funny to hear your reactions. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, gosh, I got sacked. Flex for week 8. Kirk, Renfro, Tim Patrick, or Devonta Booker. I mean, dude, Devontae Booker might be a big play next week. Going up against the Chiefs in prime time, Booker ended up having a good day today. So I'm happy with where he's at overall. Christian Kirk versus the Packers on a short week. So we shouldn't expect too much out of the Packers defense. I don't mind that either. Dude, Tim Patrick, I have a personal vendetta against Tim Patrick right now. He really upset me this past week after vouching for him and telling you guys that you can start him with full confidence on a weekly basis, right? And he had an awful game. So I don't know how I feel about Tim Patrick right now. I'm angry with him. And then Renfro, if it's full PPR, you can definitely consider him. But yeah, I think I like, out of those specific players, I do think that I'm leaning between Booker and sorry, between Booker and Kirk for sure, though. And I just realized this player on my team is a tight end when this whole time I thought he was a wide receiver. That tells you guys how much I've paid attention to this face of the franchise. But dude, this tight end, our mentor guy, is a beast. Okay. Yeah, JT moving. I think I'm between Kirk and Booker there. But I could go back and forth on that one. Emily, anyone else from Toronto? Yeah. Let us know in the chat. Where are you guys from? Where are you guys watching from? Jerry, California for me. Is football a big sport in Toronto? I am streaming from Virginia. Most of you guys already know. All right, let's see here. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. Yeah, I can't believe week 8 is already here. I really can't. Oh, man, Philip Lindsay. Look at that move. Let me know what else is going on, guys. Let me know what's up with everyone as we just got past the midnight hour. JT move-in. I started Mike Davis and Tim Patrick this week. Sad times. Yikes. Yeah, and like on paper, they had good matchups. They were both performing on a strong consistency level, and they just didn't show up, man. Which is very disappointing. But I don't know if that makes them sits next week necessarily, right? But Tim Patrick this week, I haven't processed that yet. He almost lost me my fantasy matchup. So I don't feel great about him, but we'll see. We'll see, man. He's been very good on the season. So maybe I shouldn't lose complete faith in him. Mike Davis, though, with 1 point was also just I was kind of surprised by that. I'm not going to lie. Patterson had himself a good day, but I was definitely surprised to see Mike Davis come out with barely coming up over goose egg. DJ Moore owners should have traded him earlier on. I still think just due to volume alone in full PPR that DJ Moore is worth holding on to. But if you can sell him high and make the right trade for your roster, then I don't mind it at all. Gosh, sorry, I'm watching replays of Kyle Pitts. He looked great today. But yeah, if it makes sense for your roster, right, then I think it's fine to go ahead and trade him. And yeah, I am concerned for the Panthers, right? But I nonetheless, right, even if the Panthers turn into the complete opposite of a team of what we saw in the first couple of weeks when Sam Darnold was playing great, just due to volume alone, DJ Moore is going to get enough targets to, be relatively relevant. JT Movin actually just got DJ Moore. This is my first week with him. Yeah, and I think that it made sense to trade for him. 1-6. I'm just trying to spoil other people's playoff chances. Fair enough. I've been there before. Yeah, last year I was in a league where I just injuries, everything mounted up against me. Did not have a good season at all. And towards the end of it, I was a game away from making the playoffs. But my whole thing, long story short, all season long was just trying to get the best waiver pickups on a weekly basis and trying to screw everyone else in my league. So I definitely understand that, man. Okay, so now the big story on the screen. Time for Dolphins to move on from Tua ? Trade deadline is on the way here. Lumen. Man, they can't. Is it fair to pin this all on Tua? I don't know, man. I don't know if it is. Jerry, I don't think I'm making any trades next season. I made too many trades early on and gave away good players. That's what I always hate in terms of trades, right? It's just the regret if you sometimes it really works out and you have the exact opposite feeling like, oh, very glad that I did not or that I traded away those players, right? And I did not refuse to trade, right? But then it can work in the other fashion where you're very upset that you did trade away certain players. So that's why I generally stay away from trades, right? I kind of like to stick with my roster. And, if I uh, am hurting at different positions, then I like to utilize the waiver wire. I mean, waiver wire is what's going to ultimately, make or break your season, right? Um, so yeah, JT moving. I had full confidence in Gus Edwards this year, so I traded some of my good players with him. So that kind of ruined my season. I won. I won my league last year. Yeah, Gus Edwards, tough break this year. Jerry, so they rather have Jacoby Brisket over Tua. No, I think they're talking about the trade deadline coming up, and I mean, obviously, there's rumors of this Deshaun Watson trade, and the Dolphins officially being in talks with the Texans, as are the Panthers. I mean, that wasn't something I saw on the internet or YouTube like I had been keeping up with over the last couple of weeks. That was something they reported on halftime during, this Colts and Niners game tonight. So, is that legit? I don't quite know. Only time will tell, right? As I'm playing against Sean Watson in this game at Madden, but we'll see. JT moving. Okay, I'm going to go to sleep. I appreciate the advice. Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming out and chilling for a bit. We will see you next time. Let's see here. I did have that trade for Henry, which was good. Yeah, absolutely, Jerry. Absolutely. All right, guys. Let me know what else is going on, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking headed into week 8. So next week we've got the Ravens on bye. And why am I forgetting the other team on bye next week? Jerry, I also made all those trades to get Lockett and Carson, and those turned out to be a bust. Yeah, that one hasn't worked out as well. But there's still time for those guys to come around when Russell comes back. So I know that's not what you want to hear, considering that you'd rather win right now. But there still is time. If I'm trying to give you hope, Jerry. I'm trying to give you hope, but we'll see what happens. Jerry, help me out. Who else is on bye week next week? We got the Ravens, and why am I blanking on the second team who's on bye week next week? Oh gosh, dude. Oh gosh, I'm getting smashed in Madden right now. Oh, I didn't realize that was third down. Oh no, we're going for it. We're going for it. Fumble. Yeah, I know it's a fumble. Overturn, no fumble. Okay, nice. Help my stat line. Yeah, I guess I remember that the second team on bye week next week is not a very good team. Oh gosh, that was just sad. But yeah, if you own Lamar Jackson next week, then you got to find a quarterback to stream, which includes me. And I'm playing the number 1 team in my league next week. So Ravens and Raiders. I thought it was the Raiders, but I couldn't remember. Yeah. So if you own, if you own Darren Waller, it's probably a good sign because he gets another week to rest. If you own Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, it's probably a good thing as well in terms of Josh Jacobs owners to see, how he recoups from that chest injury today. And that's going to really impact things, right? And thank you, Jerry, for figuring that out for me, man. Appreciate that. But, if the Raiders weren't on bye in week 8, then Kenyon Drake would hands down be a top waiver priority for the week because I do feel like, we're going to see Josh Jacobs miss a week or two. I don't know how serious this injury is, but he had to leave the game nonetheless. And um, I think without that injury, Kenyon Drake would be a top waiver priority on the week. So that's certainly interesting. We'll have to see how that unfolds. But outside of that, man, uh, much larger impacts if you own any of the Ravens backfield. I guess Freeman's a guy right now, but it's a never-ending revolving door. But Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, the big ones, and of course, it kind of stinks that we don't get to take any more notes on our guy Rashad Bateman as well. Obviously, Hollywood Brown will be out for the week, so there are some big players who will be out here in Week 8, but most of them are on the Ravens. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, got to figure out what quarterbacks we're going to be streaming here in Week 8, guys. And kind of the unfortunate part of that equation, right, is the fact that so many of the quarterbacks we would like to stream in Week 8 just got picked up in Week 7 due to how many bye weeks there were in Week 7. So now, do I think that a lot of those quarterbacks will be dropped moving into Week 8 or throughout the week coming up? Leading up to Week 8, yes, I do think some of these guys like Tua and some of the guys who didn't perform as well, like Sam Darnold, will definitely be dropped. But I could see guys like Matt Ryan and Joe Burrow, of course, staying rostered. Derek Carr is not going to be an option, so we'll have to work with that, right? We'll see how Jameis Winston plays tomorrow. Carson Wentz should be hanging around, so we'll see what happens. I'm in a love-hate relationship with Lamar. I understand that, being a Lamar owner as well, but he's just one of those players that you just have to start on a weekly basis, right? There's just no way we can bench him with knowing how high his ceiling can be on a weekly basis. Would you end up drafting Lamar again next season, or should we look for someone else? I mean, Lamar is still on an MVP type pace, believe it or not. And he's still doing incredible things from the quarterback position. Now, does it always translate to fantasy? Not necessarily, but yeah, I love Lamar Jackson, as I see Mr. Matt J. Kim weighing in saying that he loves Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Jerry, I do think that next season Lamar will probably still be in the top 5 quarterback realm in terms of fantasy. So would I consider him? Yeah, at the right price, of course. So yeah, I mean, I know that some weeks it's frustrating, but I mean, look at Justin Herbert, for example, who people absolutely love right now in fantasy. His first 3 weeks or so were very, very bland from a fantasy perspective, and now he's turned that around, right? Tom Brady's had some bad weeks this season as well. So it does depend, and I do think Lamar will be fine next year as well. Jerry, I like him too, but he doesn't give up those big QB points. Yeah, I mean, I guess the frustrating thing with him is, he's not getting you 20 points on a consistent basis, 20 plus points on a consistent basis. He's having these games where he scores a lot of points and then games where he doesn't score as many points, right? So I can understand the frustration. Being a Lamar Jackson owner as well, I can definitely understand it. But I do think moving into next season, he will be still in the top 5 quarterback realm, just knowing what he can do, the amount of volume he sees within that offense. And don't get me wrong, I mean, some of the things he does from a rushing standpoint aren't awarded as highly depending on your scoring format, but in most general scoring formats, they're not awarded as highly. So, I mean, he had over 70 rushing yards today, and oh gosh, I shouldn't have thrown that away. I was having a perfect game. I just panicked there at 2 open wide receivers. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, Jerry, I'm fine with Lamar. Mr. My grandmother has a better arm than Garoppolo. Just disgusting. Yeah. I mean, I was happy if you were tuned in earlier. I definitely needed him to throw those interceptions, but I was just saying that's a really big takeaway from that game, right? Garoppolo did not look to be. He does not look to be that guy. And those out there beating the drum for Trey Lance are probably beating it a little bit harder after tonight, right? Mr. Matchicam, it's not always on him. Missed a lot of catches and drop balls. Yeah, I mean the Ravens are another team that are out there that like just have no support for their star quarterback, right? They just never make a splash in free agency, right? And we've seen how many running backs have been injured on this team, right? So think about everything that Lamar Jackson has stacked against him and the way that he's still playing. Um, yeah, I mean, if they had some better receivers, I mean, I think Bateman's going to be great. And Hollywood Brown has been phenomenal this season. He's got Mark Andrews, but just think about this team if they had one or two other skill position guys, and instead of a carousel of running backs, a running back that they really could rely on, right? Jerry, yeah, and the team is banged up. Yeah, I guess I don't blame Lamar for everything. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to, right? Like we just discussed, but I can understand the frustration, Jerry. Top three fantasy QBs, I think Allen has to be in there. It's pretty tough right now, man. I definitely agree that Allen's in there. You want to say Kyler Murray, but in terms of fantasy, he hasn't 100% been there. You want to say Herbert, but then once again, he hasn't 100% been there. Brady's been great. Stafford's been great. Mahomes has still played quite well. Jalen Hurts has been very good. Um, so it is tough to say, but I definitely agree that Allen's in there. Let's pull up the stats. Why not? And let's see here. I still, man, it's tough. I think it's got to be Allen. I think you still put Mahomes in there, and then I think you put Brady in there, man. I think those are my top three. But then, guys like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson still got to be mentioned. Matt Stafford's got to be brought up. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts got to be in there as well. So yeah, but I do think that Brady, Mahomes, and Josh Allen, just looking at the stats, are the guys right now. But there's a couple of those guys who are kind of just right on the outside looking in as well. All right. This is such a boring game of Madden. We're just blowing out the Texans. All right, guys, let me know what else is going on. We might as well just make this a late night stream at this point. I mean, uh, we did a pretty strong overview of week 7 at the beginning of the stream. So, if you guys feel like you missed anything, make sure you go back and watch that. But yeah, this was a strange week for fantasy. I mean, it was much more similar to what we saw out of like the first 3 weeks of fantasy, where uh, just nothing went as we expected. Right. Um, it felt like the last 2 weeks or so we were actually starting to get where things, we could actually call things and things felt a little bit more normal. But yeah, this was another just strange week, especially like the first half of those 1 o'clock games were just not too entirely entertaining and not really a lot of anything going on from a fantasy perspective, right? So I'm glad it kind of turned around towards the end there. Jerry, it was really boring at first. Yeah, today definitely kicked off in very boring fashion. I was like, where is the offense today? Don't they know that we have fantasy matchups? Mr. Thoughts on trade deadline? Deshaun Watson, Michael Thomas. We got some horrendous QBs. Darnold was a 12-second release. He got benched in third quarter. They could use Watson, even though he beat the woman. Yeah, yeah. I don't know that Deshaun Watson's going to be able to play is the thing that I'm worried about. I think that the NFL might, if he gets traded and he's on another team, because there's kind of what I was hearing is he kind of there's this weird thing worked out with the Texans where he's just choosing not to play, and the Texans are also choosing not to play him. But the NFL hasn't put him on like the exempt list or anything like that. But what I've heard is that if he does get traded, he'll be placed on that list. So don't quote me, but I don't think we're going to see him play. That's where my gut is lying, and that's kind of what I'm sticking with. So I don't know how much we can, put put value into Deshaun Watson from a fantasy perspective. And outside of that, man, I mean, will Michael Thomas get traded? I don't know either. Do I think that he possibly could? Yes. But once again, it's going to be hard to tell. Yeah. What I've seen, right? Marlon Mack is the highest candidate in terms of fantasy to get traded and to be someone that we can turn into a fantasy starter right away. Mr. If the Saints win tomorrow, I think they keep Thomas. If they lose, maybe they trade him to the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, I won't be surprised if Michael Thomas gets traded, but I also won't be surprised if he does not get traded. It's just kind of a hard situation to read. The Saints haven't really come out and said a lot about it. So I think it's a good point to bring up, but I don't know exactly how to read into it, I guess. KB, I need Kamara to get 14.8 points tomorrow. I think that will probably definitely happen for you. There was a good article I pulled up. Let me see if I can't find it here. Let's see here. Yeah, Marlon Mack. Okay, here we go. I mean, a lot of the interesting thing with the trade deadline is usually all the speculation's wrong, and one or two players that we're not expecting to get traded, they get traded, right? But really, everything I've looked at is on the defensive side of things. So I'm not seeing a lot of rumors outside of Marlon Mack and Deshaun Watson in terms of trade rumors. But I do think if Marlon Mack gets traded to an RB needy team, that he is going to be someone we need to keep an eye on. Would I jump the gun right now on Marlon Mack? Not necessarily, but it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. And KB, need Kamara to get 14.88 points tomorrow. Like I said, can definitely happen. And just keep in mind the Seahawks have been awful against opposing running backs this season. So I think he'll probably be fine there. Mr. We need to watch that trade deadline. Don't want to get goffed by league mates. Yeah, it's definitely something that we want to keep an eye on. And I'll definitely be, keep an eye on it for you guys and giving you guys any updates, even if it, I make some solo vids on it, right? Definitely something that we want to keep close eyes on. Let's see here. When is the official trade line date? I'll have to figure that out. But I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated, so do not worry. We'll definitely get you guys covered. It's November 11th, I think. Okay, that's good to know. Wild Prodigy, what's going on, man? Good to see you here tonight. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Always good to have you here. I feel bad for all of my MO people. Yeah, Chiefs looked pretty bad. Yeah. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I mean, is it time to panic if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan? Is it time to panic? Overall, I think it might be. I need to just end this game of Madden as we fumbled on the play. But listen, man, the Chargers have already beaten the Chiefs this year. They look like the best team in the division, the most complete team in the division, although they got dismantled by the Ravens. There's just a lot of good teams in the AFC right now. So I do think there's reason to panic in terms of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mr. It's November 1st. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. We will definitely keep an eye on it, man. Jerry, what do you think is wrong with the Chiefs? I just think teams have figured them out, man. I mean, I think that's the biggest part of it. They're just so used to relying on these two main skill players, Kelsey and Hill, and then relying on Mahomes to be able to make big plays whenever, and it just hasn't worked out that way this season. And I mean, I know it's not that relevant, but the Super Bowl hangover is a thing, man. Like it really is. It always has been, and it definitely looks relevant this year, right? Besides the defense, yeah, of course the defense is a big part of the problem, yeah, especially the secondary. But Wild Prodigy, they fell apart today. Yeah, they got absolutely dismantled, and I mean Tennessee on a very good winning streak right now. Mr. Matt J. Kim, I hope the league figured out Mahomes playing them next week. Yeah. I mean, I had in that matchup that you guys watched me win tonight. Thanks to the Colts defense and Devo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell not scoring too many points. I had Patrick Mahomes against me. So um, I was not complaining. And it's interesting because right now the highlights of that game are up on my TV. But um, gosh, AJ Brown looked baller today. Ryan Tannehill looked back to the Ryan Tannehill that we're used to. The Chiefs don't have a run game either. Like they really don't. And they're not doing a great job protecting Patty Mahomes either. And teams are just finding out how to get Patrick Mahomes to turn over the football. So that's 6 games in a row with an interception. Jerry, what's the Super Bowl hangover? When a team loses the Super Bowl, there's on a pretty consistent basis, the team that lost does not make the playoffs the next year. Mister. So what I noticed with Chiefs is they aren't using max protection at O-line. They're sending like 12 receivers at once and Mahomes gets blasted. Yeah, like I just said, they're just not protecting him and they're putting him into bad situations, man. And he's not doing a good job under pressure either. I mean, there's a lot of places to point fingers here. Wild Prodigy, AJ coming to life finally. Yeah, he looked fantastic today, man. And I told you guys over this past week, after what we saw on Monday Night Football versus the Bills, that I thought AJ Brown was back, man. And I'm very, very happy to see that for those of you who do own AJ Brown and have been a little bit worried about him as well. Jerry, so did the Chiefs use all of their money on Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill? I mean, essentially, but also Chris Jones was a big part of that. But they had Travis Kelsey locked up for a while, and Tyreek Hill as well, and they actually, I mean, they have great contracts and they have respectable contracts, but they're not top of the league. And Patrick Mahomes' contract, while it's a massive contract over time, and it's a massive contract in general. There have been other players who have gotten paid and everything. Tyrann Mathieu as well. So, but yeah, essentially, to answer your question, Mister. In previous years, they used max protection. Tyreek would get open amongst 6 DBs. Yeah, that's true too. And it's just like you got to give this team some more help. But how can you with how much money they've invested into their top players, right? And that's kind of the problem, man. I mean, I love Patrick Mahomes, man. I think he's great for the game of football. But I always think about Tom Brady and how consistently he has taken pay cuts and how consistently he has been willing to let other players get paid and been willing to bring star players with him and let them, essentially receive the contract that he could get if it means that Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette and Richard Sherman are on the same team as him, right? And don't get me wrong, the Buccaneers already had great players when he got there, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just throughout his whole career, he's done that, where he's taken pay cuts if it meant that the team could sign more players. Was part of that Bill Belichick? Maybe. But nonetheless, man, I just think about that a lot in circumstances like this. Jerry, they have Mahomes running around like he's Lamar or something. Yeah, they truly do. Mister. Also, a 5'6" RB is not a good mold as a pass blocker. That's a good point as well. Do you think the Chiefs trade away Hill or Kelsey? No, not at all. Not at all. I do not see that happening. I mean, that core, you still can't, when that core is on, they're on, right? And there's no way that I think you can replace that core 3 players on the offense, that is. But I just don't think they can give up doing so. Let's see here. Jerry, I didn't know Brady took all those pay cuts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely over the years, especially in New England, man. Especially in New England. I mean, there's a point where Tom Brady was making less money than like, oh gosh, the amount there is a crazy list at a point of quarterbacks making more money than Tom Brady that just like what didn't even make sense. I mean, I know that I remember Joe Flacco being on there. Of course, I mean Joe Flacco got that massive contract after the Ravens Super Bowl, but I'd have to look that up. I don't remember what year it was, but there's a point where there are very bad quarterbacks in the league making more money than Tom Brady. Gabriel, have you moved Waller around the rest of the season rankings at all? Yeah, we just kind of talked about our top tight ends on the year. And yes, yeah, he's definitely fallen a little bit. Absolutely. I think he's still in the top 10 for sure. But there are other players. I mean, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce, Mike Gesicki right there. Goddard is up there right now. Zach Ertz is up there. I mean, there's plenty other players that we consider over Waller at this point. But I still don't want to give up on Darren Waller, just knowing his ceiling. But I mean, Dalton Schultz, Dawson Knox when healthy. There are other players that are going to have been much more consistent on the year. Mr. Fournette is not a 5'6" pass blocker. Fair enough. Fair enough. But probably better than what the Chiefs have, I would assume. Yeah, and that's a big part of it too, man. Like the Chiefs just don't have a run game, and they need a run game, and they need to be able to take some of that pressure off of Patty Mahomes. And even when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was healthy, it's like it's like they just weren't utilizing the run game at all, and they just could never get it going. Mild Prodigy, yeah, the Tom Brady point is valid, but the Chiefs management, I feel like, is falling apart. Leadership needs to be there for Patty Mahomes. I agree with that too. I do. I do. I absolutely agree with that. They just don't look like they're managing on a week-to-week basis to where they're really improving at any point. And that's scary for the rest of the season. You know, if you're a Chiefs fan, if you're a fantasy owner of these guys, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying at all. You should still keep Mahomes, Kelce, and Hill on your team just due to the ceilings that they're going to provide. And Mahomes and Kelce are still, even after today, going to be in the top 3 at their position easily, right? I mean, this was the worst performance we've ever seen out of Mahomes, but there's just no reason to panic over one game. But in terms of real life football, there's a lot to be worried about right here. I just noticed that I'm playing against Zach Wilson. I guess when I got drafted, John Madden and Face the Franchise, the Jets traded, or no, the Eagles, I guess, just drafted Zach Wilson. Interesting. Okay. Mr. Hey, Zach Ertz looked good. No, yeah, he looked great, man. Almost had 2 touchdowns on the day too. I mean, he had that one play where he was down at like the 1-yard line. So, but also keep in mind the Texans are the 31st worst team in the league against opposing tight ends before this weekend. So, did that come into play? Probably just a little bit, but who knows? Who knows? I would assume that was part of the equation too. But yeah, I think Zach Ertz looked great, and he was in my must-start tight end list for the week, and part of that had to do with the Texans being one of the worst teams in the league against opposing tight ends. Jerry, so Brady was being paid less than Carson Palmer and Joe Flacco at one point. Damn. Yeah. And he was straight up telling people like he didn't care about the money; he cared about winning. And don't get me wrong, man. I mean, Tom Brady is still taken care of, and between himself and his wife, like they're fine. I mean, and even him making not a lot of money is him being a millionaire on a yearly basis. So I mean, but I still respect it to a large degree because it was like a 10-year period where he was not making that much money, and even when he left the Pats for the Buccaneers, it's not like he went out to the team that was going to pay him the most money. He went to the team where he thought he had the best chance to win, because that's always been what Tom Brady has cared about, is winning, and that shows, man. Mister, if you look at what the Ravens did, they got Murray and Freeman, who aren't that bad in protection. Chiefs don't want to spend for that solid back. They let Le'Veon Bell go. Yeah, it just also feels like the Chiefs just haven't gone out and really pursued anyone in free agency, man. I mean, I know that maybe they don't have too much money, but their O-line got bad over the offseason too, right? I mean, it's just tough, man. It's like, if you could just add, I mean, maybe we'll see them trade for someone at this point, right? I mean, I don't have any faith in Josh Gordon making this Chiefs team that much better if he does end up playing. But if they could just add, I mean, we just haven't seen the production out of McCole Hardman or Pringle, right? And it's just frustrating, because I really do like this Chiefs team, man. And I love Andy Reid as a head coach. I love Patrick Mahomes, but I would like to see them piece this thing together. And they still have time to turn around the season. Don't get me wrong, man. Let's see. Wild Prodigy, been a Packers fan since '94. I'm excited for the matchup versus the Cards. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be a good Thursday night football game for once, man. I might end up streaming that whole game. We'll see Thursday. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very good game overall, man. I think the stat I saw is that the Cardinals have given up the fewest amount of points on the season, around 16 points per game. And then there's some really insane stat for the Packers offense as well. But I don't remember exactly what it was. So it's going to be a great matchup on both sides of things. Jerry, I respect that too. I'm reading more about it. Brady thinks the money is better spent for good teammates than continuing to line his own pockets, quote unquote. Yeah. He was always on that wave, man. And you look at some other guys out there who could have potentially done so, and they didn't. And I always go back to that, man. You know, always go back to that. Wow, nice guy, Brady. Yeah, he's still Tom Brady, but I'm sure he's. I know his teammates have always had a lot of respect for him for various reasons, and I'm sure that's one of them. But yeah, especially towards the end of his run in New England, he was taking a lot of pay cuts, just trying to build the best rosters overall. Like I said, as part of that, Bill Belichick and the way he likes to craft together his rosters, potentially. But I think a lot of it had to do with Brady as well. And coincidentally, Tom Brady is on my screen right now, which is kind of freaking me out during that discussion, because I felt like he was staring into my soul. Who's someone that could have taken less money? That's a good question. And I hate to say it, but I feel like Peyton Manning's up there. But Peyton Manning always had a great team around him, so I don't know if that's a good example. And really, in the last couple of years have been where we've started to see these massive deals for quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, I think Russell Wilson deserves the amount of money. I think most of these quarterbacks who are getting these massive contracts deserve the amount of money that they're getting and all the praise and et cetera, et cetera. But Russell Wilson's another guy I think of who needs a lot of help on his respective team in terms of a good defense, in terms of more skill position guys, although they have Lockett and Metcalf. A lot of injuries to the running back position. They've never had a good O-line. So I do look at them as another good example. Of a team that has all their money invested into their quarterback. And, really got Jamal Adams, invested a lot of money into him as well. But outside of that, it's like they never make a splash with anyone. And I get, I understand wanting to build through drafts, which I completely respect as well. But if you don't build through the draft, there's a difference between trying to build through the draft and actually building through the draft, right? And if you don't get it done, then I'm not sure, right? right? I'm not sure if it works out. And I would say that Pete Carroll definitely likes to try and build through the draft, but it happened a lot at first, Legion of Boom days, and it hasn't really happened since. So yeah, Jerry, I think uh, the Seahawks are a great current situation. Let me see if I can't make a crazy play in Madden. Okay, I can't. Wild Prodigy, did you see Evans hand Tom Brady's 600 TD ball away to a fan? I did. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. And yeah, when he scored his second touchdown, he started pointing to a fan in the stands, and that was after they had taken away the ball from the first fan. And I thought that he was finding that fan, and then he didn't. And then on the third touchdown, I thought that he was doing so as well, and he didn't. But yeah, it was pretty funny. And it's interesting because he was like pointing to Chris Godwin to pick up the ball, and I was like, oh, they're getting the ball for Brady. That's cool. And then the next thing I see is Evans running over there to give the ball to a fan, and I was like, that seems not not like what Brady would want him to do. So yeah, I definitely saw it. It was interesting. Jute, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Hey, folks, Swift and Terry won me the week just barely. Let's go. Let's go, Jute. Glad to see you getting a dub, my guy. Jerry, building to the draft takes longer, right? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I mean, I think the best thing is to do a combination of both. But I guess it's easier said than done, right? But I mean, like Pete Carroll's early days, for example, with the Seahawks, they built through the draft and they built a fantastic team, So it depends. It depends. I mean, a good team right now in terms of building through the draft and exploring free agency would definitely be the Browns, although they haven't really been able to piece it together. But they'd be a good example of drafting and signing players at the same time and building a respectable franchise, and also coming off of being the laughing stock of the league, right? All right, let's see here. Gabriel, would you say Waller for Schultz, A-Rob, and Herbert is worth it, or is there more value to be had? I need to replace Mike Davis, but Herbert seems like a short-term solution. Yeah, and I think the problem there is that Herbert is indeed a short-term solution, but also that you can't trust Allen Robinson like that. He's providing you no value in that trade whatsoever. So I think that's the bigger problem there, right? He's not going to do anything for you the way the season's looking. So, yes, I think Herbert's a short-term play. Is he better and more valuable than Mike Davis? Potentially. He looks to be, right, especially in this given week. So I just don't know if you're getting enough overall value overall. Jerry, what about the Bengals? They really turned their team around from what it was a few years ago. I do agree with that. It's been best time to be a Bengals fan in quite some time. So I do agree with that as well. Didn't the Browns end their season 0-16 recently? Yeah, that was not that long ago. Gosh, it's been 4 or 5 years now or longer. But yeah, it was not that long ago. Like I said, they were the laughing stock of the league. And honestly, the San Francisco 49ers, not too long ago before their Super Bowl appearance, were another very bad team in the league. And between Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, you have to give them some credit for becoming a more respectable team overall and making the Super Bowl. All right. Let's see here. Man, Zach Wilson's tearing us up. Holden, I have JT and Aaron Jones. I can either trade for Adams and Lamar. I could trade either for Adams and Lamar. I don't know who to trade after this week because I was leaning JT, but now I might be Aaron Jones. Ooh. I think you trade Aaron Jones. Jerry says, I think you're better off trading Aaron Jones as well. It's tough to say because Aaron Jones can have these crazy, crazy games, but he also has these low floor weeks. And I think Jonathan Taylor just provides higher ceilings and more, maybe not higher ceilings, but on a consistency basis, better games overall. I think I'm leaning keeping JT there as well, which I wouldn't have said potentially before the season. But don't forget, guys, I mean, before we saw the Carson Wentz injury and everything, Jonathan Taylor was like a top 5 pick in mock drafts. So mean, don't underestimate him. He was right up there with a guy like Aaron Jones. So I think either way, it's an okay trade, but the momentum right now is with Jonathan Taylor. Gio, I'm up by 5 with New Orleans defense left. Should I bother benching them? Don't think defenses can score -5. It does depend on your specific league settings and scoring settings, but I'd be very surprised if the Saints finish tomorrow -5 points. I do think that they're going to have a pretty good day. So, especially with Geno Smith at the helm. So, yeah. Zach Wilson tearing it up only in Madden. Yeah, he is currently 19 of 19 against me. Yeah. Jude, don't trade Aaron Jones this week at least. His value is lower than it should be. That's a good point, too. But I do think for Devonta Adams and Lamar Jackson, I mean, even outside of this week, that's pretty good value. Holden, are you getting Adams and Lamar or just one of the two? I'm reading them as Adams and Lamar. I mean, honestly, if you're hurting at the receiver position, I mean, I'm not even that excited about Lamar Jackson. I think he's a fine value to add there, but I think the value of Devonta Adams just can't be underestimated, right? And I think the other thing to think about there, right, is if you end up stacking Jones and Adams, it's fine. But on weeks where the Packers maybe slump, then it's going to hurt, right? Gio, I mean, just Adams for Jones is fair. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. And even Jonathan Taylor for Adams is fair as well. I just think that right now the momentum is with Jonathan Taylor. But I don't necessarily disagree that Adams is going to have higher value in other weeks as well. But there's nothing wrong with going out and getting Devonta Adams, man. I mean, I still view him as potentially a number one receiver on the year. We'll see with the way Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase and some of these other guys are playing. But nonetheless, Devonta Adams is going to be a top 3 receiver on the year. I can almost guarantee that, right? So I don't have any problem going out and trading for him. All right, I got to show Zach Wilson, who's the true New York Jets quarterback here at Madden. And that is John Madden, number 16. All right, guys, I'll probably start winding down the stream in the next 10 minutes. So make sure you guys get out any final questions or any final thoughts. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night. We should be on by 9:30. And yeah, I'm excited, man. Saints and Seahawks should be a fun night tomorrow as we move into week 8. Make sure you guys got that notification bell on so you don't miss a single upload or stream. And also keep oh wow, I thought I was on an interception. Keep tuned in for our waiver wire video for tomorrow as well. Should have a better breakdown for you guys heading into week 8. Jerry, trading away both JT and Adam and Aaron for Lamar and Adams. No, it's one or the other. It's either Jonathan Taylor or Aaron Jones, one or the other. All right, let's see here. Gee, I have Rodgers and Jones in games like week 1 versus Saints can mess things up. I think he meant one of JT and Jones. Yeah, he did. That's what I thought. John confused me. I'm sorry, Jerry. I did not want to confuse you. I don't want to confuse you, Jerry. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in for tomorrow night's stream as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys will be there, but we'll be cooling for a little bit of Monday night football action as well as some week 8 fantasy Q&A, which I'm expected to be loaded because we are in this point on the season where in terms of fantasy, we have really got to start securing victories, right? So I think week 8 is going to be loaded. Absolutely. Thoughts on Ertz? I dropped him this week because I have Goddard and Gronk, and he's looking pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I actually ended up dropping him too for Rashad Penny, which I wasn't feeling great about. As Jerry says, yeah, I wouldn't have dropped him. But I've got Schultz and Mike Gesicki, and I don't mind having 3 or 4 tight ends on my team if there's better value. But right now, I'm really hurting at the receiver position, and I just have a problem picking up handcuff running backs. I will admit I have a problem with that. But overall, man, I kind of ended up doing the same thing, but I think I can lean on Schultz and Gesicki, and I think that you could lean on Goddard and Gronk. I mean, Ertz had a great day, but he didn't play that much better than Goddard. And Gronk, when healthy, was a top 5 tight end, right? So I dropped Ertz for Bass, but having terrible luck with kickers. I mean, honestly, I still don't think that's an awful move by any means. So um, I don't even hate that move. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think you still have 2 fine tight ends to lean on. So I wouldn't panic or anything like that. Jerry, I guess that's a smart idea. Yeah, Tyler Boss going to be a top 5 kicker on the year, and maybe the best kicker on the whole year. So, Wild Prodigy, when the Packers get healthy, they're going to be a scary team on the defensive side and the O line. Aaron Jones will pick up the rest of the season. I'm not going to disagree with that. And I mean, the biggest problem with the Packers right now is that they are hurt. Like on the defensive side of things, they're definitely dealing with injuries. So, and yeah, when Bakhtiari can come back, that's going to make a big difference as well. Oh wow, I just missed this extra point in Madden. Yikes! Wow, I got to play some good defense. But yeah, I agree with you, Wild Prodigy. I think the Packers. I think they're, in my opinion, I mean, they're 5-1, and some people still don't consider them one of the best teams in the NFC for some reason. Like they're just not being mentioned in as many conversations. And I think they're a team that can be just as good as they were last year, making it to the NFC Championship game, especially when fully healthy overall. So yeah, I got nothing bad to say about them whatsoever, man. Jerry, I don't hate that move either. Hey man, I like me some Tyler Boss. Uh, Jerry, you picked up Tyler Boss in our league, didn't you? Man, Jerry, can I trade you the Colts defense for the Bills defense? Because I really wanted them. It was a good weekend for fantasy. It was nice talking to everyone tonight. Yeah, Jerry, always good to have you here, my guy. And I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow. Not worried about that at all. Glad you got to hang out for a bit over the weekend, man. Definitely always happy to have you here, my guy. And truly, truly do appreciate your continued support. And man, yeah, another week in the books of the catch. And man, really, really do appreciate you guys. Really, really appreciate this community, man. It's just continuing to grow day by day. And I just can't say, how thankful I am for you guys as, uh, a community and a subscriber base. You guys are absolutely fantastic, man. And I truly, truly look forward to watching, us continue to grow as a community day by day. Oh man, I got a big play coming up in Madden here. I got to try and get a. Well, they don't have a timeout. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh, please tackle him. Oh my gosh, we just won. We just won. He went to the 1 yard line. That was so stupid. Okay. Bills and Bass will carry me. They might, Jerry. They might. Good to see both of us go 2-0 in the catch fam. Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's go, Jerry. Appreciate that. It's always good to see the catch fam getting dubs in the catch fam league. Drew Mason, the fantasy flock guy, had 100 videos out before he had like 1,000 subs. You guys will blow up eventually. Appreciate that, those kind words, man. And yeah, it's a long process. I understand that, man. But I mean, even the amount we've grown in the short amount of time we've been around, it's just phenomenal, man. It truly is. I mean, just the fact that I can walk upstairs and talk to you guys about fantasy and play Madden, and you guys sit here and hang out with me, like, if we never gain another subscriber, I wouldn't even be upset, man, just because this community that we've already built is so awesome. It truly is, it's a humbling experience, and I really do appreciate all the catch fam, man. I appreciate you guys, and I just, love, love, love building this community day by day, man. It's truly phenomenal. Gabriel Sheet, you've got my sub. Keep it up. Appreciate that, Gabriel. Truly do. Wild Prodigy, I'm hoping for an upset on Thursday. Murray going to be feeling the pressure going up against A-Rod. It's going to be a great game, man. It truly is. So, I mean, I don't even know if I call it necessarily an upset if the Packers do win. It's going to be a pretty even part game, man. All right, guys, we will go ahead and cap things off for the night. Had a blast with you guys, man. I know week 7 was a wild ride leading up to the weekend, man. And week 8's going to be another fun one, man. Just truly, truly, like I said, you know, can't say how much I appreciate all of the catch fam. So I thank you guys all so much for coming out for the night and hanging out for a bit. Congrats to anyone that secured the dub. Can't believe I sat here and we actually got that dub in my fantasy league. Going through that with you guys was such a blast. Can't believe that Jimmy G threw 2 interceptions and we somehow held off Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuels. That was just crazy. That was so much fun doing that with you guys. So truly, truly appreciate you guys, man. Jew, peace out, bro. Jerry, peace out, man. Well, Prodigy, much love, brother. Get some good Z's. Absolutely. Much love to all of the Catch fam. Everyone get some good Z's, as Wild Prodigy says. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night. Hit that notification bell. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you are new here. Make sure you become part of the Catch fam. Check out the Patreon page down below if you're ever interested. Link is in the description, and I will see you guys soon. Perfect comment to end the night on. What a night. You got the W and the Peyton Manning jersey. Absolutely, Jerry. Great, great way to end the stream. So I got nothing else to say, but I thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch, and peace.